Competitions from as little as 5p per entry. What are you waiting for? You could be next to change your life with that prize, guys.
Hello, darlings. Aunt Helga. Futuristic scooters, old school website. Relax, web upgrades, I own them. Better design, e-commerce and smart AI. Now you're fit for the future. I scoot off now. Your digital partner, Iona.
Introducing the casino you love to hate, Mr. Q.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Welcome to Saturday Fight Nights live on DAZN here from Brooklyn, New York, where we are getting set for one of the most hotly anticipated fight nights of the year. The unified junior middleweight world champion Xander Zayas puts his belts on the line against one of the hottest names in boxing, the former welterweight #1 Jaron Ennis, who tonight can become a two-division world champion. Tonight, they fight for the belts, they fight for reputation, and they fight for the pursuit of greatness.
Greatness is a word people throw around like it means nothing. But to us, it means everything. It's the standard, and it only belongs to those who rise above expectation. Will you do what others won't so you become what others can't? Greatness is never given, and the pursuit is all we have.
Well, New York is still celebrating the Knicks' first NBA championship in 53 years. The World Cup is in town too, but tonight the spotlight shifts to the sweet science. Since opening in 2012, the Barclays Center has hosted some of boxing's biggest stars: Bernard Hopkins, Danny Garcia, Deontay Wilder, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, and Ryan Garcia, to name a few. And tonight, Xander Zayas and Boots Ennis take center stage, looking to add another unforgettable chapter to Brooklyn's rich boxing history. And a very good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome inside the Barclays Center for Saturday Fight Night. We are so happy to have you here with us. My name's Kate Scott, with the former heavyweight title contender turned top-class coach Malik Scott and DAZN boxing insider Chris Mannix. Let's start by talking about the main event tonight. Jaron Ennis going up against Xander Zayas for Xander Zayas' unified belts at junior middleweight. I guess what the boxing public has wanted is to see Jaron Ennis in a real test, something that's going to challenge him to really bring out the very best that he has.
Well, only time will tell, Kate. Like Xander's, to me, how we all are big on Boots, it come across like if we all are saying, well, Boots is better than him in everything, Boots is going to win. It come across like we're downplaying Xander. We're not, but Boots is just that good. He's an incredible finisher. He's a hell of a body puncher. He has great timing, incredible reflexes. He just does, in my opinion, everything better than Xander.
And Chris, if we're talking about what we think that the advantages are that Boots has over Xander Zayas, what would you say those are?
Yeah, I think on a macro level, it's pretty much everything. I would say that Boots Ennis has a power advantage over Xander Zayas. I would say he has a speed advantage. You know, people talk about Xander's footwork and it's pretty good, but I think Boots' footwork is pretty good too. I think he has the ability to switch stances pretty quickly, and he gets power off those stances pretty quickly as well. So I think on a macro level, Boots is better in virtually every possible way. I think if you want to dig down to maybe a micro level, you can say Xander Zayas' jab is his best weapon here. Xander Zayas is a converted southpaw. That means that left hand is his power hand. He's going to be able to use that for most of the night. But we've seen Boots Ennis against a pretty good competition, throwing power shots and being aggressive. Yes, Boots Ennis gets hit a little bit too much for some people out there in boxing, but he does that because he wants to be entertaining. He does that because he wants to close the show. He wants to be physical. He doesn't want to lay back and win decisions. He wants to knock guys out of there. When you do that, you cannot swim without getting wet. But Boots overall, I think, is a very complete fighter and has a lot of advantages, I would say, over Xander Zayas going into this fight.
Chris, would you say out of all the fighters basically the most up-to-date fighters today, that it seemed like that phrase, you can't swim without getting wet, that rule goes for everybody, it seemed like, for Boots. If he get hit with 5 pop shots per fight, it's like people want to nitpick and say, oh, he gets hit too much. Is that because, do you believe that's because he's that great, he's that good, that they're just trying to nitpick? Because if it's about you don't get hit, you don't swim without getting wet and all of that, then he should be given that same type of right, but it seemed like he's not.
Yeah, I think nitpick is the right word there, because there's really not much else to not like about Boots Ennis. Like, his skill set is virtually complete. As we talked about, he does virtually everything well, and he does get hit with shots, but when I see him get hit with shots, and we've called several of his most recent fights, he's not getting hit with 3 or 4 punch combinations. He's getting hit with 1 shot, then he's getting out. Yes, he's getting hit, but watch the fights against Stanionis. Watch the fights against Roy Monvilla. Watch his most recent fight against Wisma Lima, who didn't last 1 round against Jaron Ennis. He's willing to take 1 shot to come in, but his defense is not so bad that he's taken 3 or 4.
Absolutely.
You guys were both at the weigh-ins yesterday. I want to talk to you about how Jaron Ennis looked, because Sergio was so impressed that he changed his prediction when he saw how Jaron Ennis looked on the scale.
That's a shock that Sergio changed his prediction. Yes, that's right.
At 154, it's the second time we've seen him now at the new weight. Do you think it serves him much better than being down at welterweight, 7 pounds lighter?
Yes, absolutely. I think so, Kate. But also his introduction into 154 pounds was very violent. He didn't take no for an answer, and he came and did a demolition job on Lima. And that's, to me, the type of performances that he's going to have a lot more of at 154 pounds. And let's not say, I also believe that tonight he's going to come in bigger than that. Not that much big, but a lot bigger than that. He's going to be a lot more stronger to me in this fight than he was in the Lima fight. So, yes, I like him at 154.
Yeah, he's one of the best at 154 pounds, no doubt about it, even with 1 fight. And you can see that the skill set of Jaron Ennis that he had at 147 pounds has already moved up. No, Wisma Lima was not the greatest test in the world to debut at 154, but he was basically a career-long junior middleweight, and Boots Ennis did exactly what he had to do, make short work of him. But we think he's the best, or one of the best, at 154. Ring Magazine also tends to agree with us that Boots Ennis is one of the best at 154, already ranking Boots inside that top 5 as we take a look at these Ring Magazine rankings. Boots ranked at number 5, Xander Zayas sitting there at number 3, just behind Sebastian Fundora and Virgil Ortiz Jr. Virgil Ortiz Jr., no belts, but Ring believes he is the #1 guy in this weight class. I will say this, the magnitude of this fight is such that I think the winner of this fight, even if there's a couple of guys ahead of him, in the case of Boots, 4 guys ahead of him, the winner of this fight, I think, belongs that #1 spot in the junior middleweight division.
Well, Chris is going to be huffing and puffing his way up and down these stairs tonight, so we're going to bring in the guys who are going to call the fights for you tonight, along with Chris, Sergio Mora and Todd Grisham, who are ringside, guys.
Hey guys, Sergio, the big question now, is it too much too soon for Xander Zayas, or right place, right time? What say you?
Right place, right time. Look.
Wait, in rehearsals you said too much too soon.
Listen to me.
You changed your mind again, guys.
You look at the age. He's 23 years old. It's too much too soon. But he's a champion, Todd. He's a unified champion. I love the fact that he's taking too much. He wants the greatness. I mean, both these guys are lacking resume. They both need each other on their hit list. So it appears that way. And it's not that I'm changing my mind. This kid is ready for the opportunity. He's the champ. So I think he's ready for this moment. I think he's ready for a fighter like Boots Ennis. And they need each other.
You're like that undecided voter we hear so much about that hasn't made their mind up to election day. You're like, wait a minute, how have you not made your mind up yet? Earlier you said Boots by decision. 10 minutes ago you told somebody you think Boots by KO. What are you feeling right now?
That way I'm never wrong.
All right, well, let's talk about Xander Zayas. You think he's got a real shot to beat Boots if he's, you said, nearly flawless. What does he have to do, X's and O's wise, to get the win over Boots?
Well, listen up. He's going to have to box. He's going to have to fight. A little bit of both. He's going to be a hybrid boxer-puncher. He's going to have to use his legs. That's the thing about Xander Zayas. He has that youth. He has the legs. He's able to box backwards, but he's going to have to get the respect of an offensive-minded Boots Ennis. We just heard Manic says that he gets hit too much. I don't think that's the case. When you're dealing with someone that's always on the front foot looking for the knockout, you're bound to get hit with a shot. This is a fight game, but he rolls with shots. He rolls with the power off the shot. He's a rhythm fighter. That's the one thing that Zayas has. He's a rhythm fighter as well. He has a nice bounce on his feet. When he's on the front foot, he goes to the body. When he's on the back foot, he's jabbing. He's going to have to do both to beat Boots Ennis.
Quickly, who do you think is going to be the aggressor more in this fight, Boots or Xander?
Oh, it's going to be Boots.
Yeah,
Boots is going to be on the front foot.
All right, you can see tonight's broadcast, by the way, in Espanol. Ricardo Solis and Jesse Vargas on the call on DAZN. Now let's check in with our reporter, Emily Austin.
Thanks, Todd. I'll be behind the scenes all night. Lucky me. No, but I'll be talking to our fighters, getting their interviews before we step into the ring and immediately after. So make sure you're tuned in for those. Also make sure you are tuning into Fan Zone because you can make your own fight cards. You can vote in live polls and you can choose your fight/fighter of the night. Also make sure you're following at DAZN Boxing across all social media so you can get all the behind the scenes exclusive content back here with me. Last but not least, you were tuned in this week. What an incredible fight week. But tonight, you are in for a jam-packed night full of action where we find out who will be crowned as King of 154. But in the meantime, back to you, Kate.
Yep, thank you, Emily. Okay, let me run you through all the fights we got coming up for you this evening. We're going to start the night with amateur standout Quincy Williams, who goes against Jaron Baxter. Then it is Philly versus Puerto Rico when Dennis Thompson fights Edwin Rodriguez. The son of a two-division world champ, Juanma Lopez, will look to continue his own journey against Alberto Motos. Jahai Tucker, the main card now, and Eury Cedeno will go at it for 10 rounds or less at middleweight. Flashy British fighter Ben Whittaker aims to impress in his US debut against Richard Popeye Rivera. And highly touted prospect Emiliano Vargas is under the spotlight once again in the co-main against Bryce Mills. And then in the main event, Xander Zayas puts his unified junior middleweight titles on the line against the former unified welterweight champ, Jaron Ennis. Both of them unbeaten, both in their prime with 2 titles and legacy on the line. So Quincy Williams and Jaron Baxter get the action started tonight. Williams has got 6 fights, 6 wins and 6 knockouts. Let's take you over to David Diamante to start the action.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the home of the Brooklyn Nets, the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York, USA. We are live on DAZN for a big night of World Championship Professional Boxing. We begin tonight with a special welterweight attraction. Now entering the arena, Jaron Thoroughbred Baxter.
So here comes Jaron Baxter, known as the Thoroughbred, fighting out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Sergio, we got a good look at him. He fought Amari Jones, the much hyped prospect of Matchroom, and he got dropped early, but went the distance with the young prodigy.
Yeah, he got dropped by a jab, which is kind of rare, but Baxter, he's not a puncher, so he comes forward a lot. He's an aggressive fighter. He wants to push the fight, but against a fighter like Williams, 6 wins, 6 losses, he's gonna need head movement. So not rely too much on power, head movement, box, use your jab. Jaron Baxter has a little bit of all that. He's gonna have to implement it tonight.
And now entering the arena from our nation's capital, the undefeated Quincy Williams.
Six fights, 6 wins, 6 knockouts. Not too shabby for Washington, D.C.'s Quincy Williams. This one's scheduled for 8 rounds, Chris, but he's never been past the 4th as a pro. You think this one goes the distance?
A lot to like about Quincy Williams and what he's done early in his career. 6 wins, you pointed out 6 knockouts. Has not fought since last October, so we'll see if there's any kind of ring rust there for this young fighter. But good-looking, strong, powerful, managed by Peter Kahn, who also manages Xander Zayas. This is a kid that has a lot of potential.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York, USA. We are live on DAZN for a big night of World Championship Professional Boxing. And it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Top Rank Incorporated. We're sponsored tonight by RainBet, Riyadh Season, and OnlyFans. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the New York State Athletic Commission. The executive director is Matt Delaglio. Introducing your 3 judges scoring our first contest from ringside. Dave Braslow, Tony Lundy, and Don Trella. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, referee David Fields. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black trunks. He scaled 150 pounds. Professional record, 7 victories, 1 defeat, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Jerome Thoroughbred Baxter. Baxter. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the copper and silver. He scaled 150 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign as a professional with a record of 6 victories, no defeats, all 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of our nation's capital, the District of Columbia. Please welcome Quincy Williams. Williams.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm scheduled to box 8 rounds. I'm going over the rules in the dressing room. You expect to obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Quincy Williams coming off a 253-day layoff, the longest of his career, fighting for the 2nd time at Barclays, taking on Jerome Baxter, nicknamed the Thoroughbred, fighting out of Pittsburgh. He's been active. Last bout just 77 days ago. 6-round unanimous decision win.
Yeah, and that's the opposite of Quincy Williams, who fought just 2 times in 2025, first time in 2026. For a prospect this young, you'd like to see much more activity.
We haven't seen many rounds from Quincy Williams because nobody can hang in there with him. Let's see how Baxter does. He's wearing the black trunks, Williams in the orange and white.
Sergio Baxter, a protege of sorts of a guy from your era, Paul Spadafora, one of the fighters from the Pittsburgh area.
Don't age me out like that, Chris Mannix, but yeah.
With your agent Paul out there.
No, but excellent fighter. And you know, Pittsburgh is not known for, it's not really a hotbed for boxing, but the boxers that do come out of there, excellent boxer punchers, and Baxter's one of them.
I think the issue with Baxter among them is that he got a pretty late start in boxing. Started about 18 years old, wanted to be a basketball player as he was coming up, as opposed to Quincy Williams, who was basically bred for this. Decorated amateur, now undefeated in the pro ranks. There is a skill differential between these 2 guys.
I like the fact that Baxter started off backing up the puncher, you know, backing up the young fighter, you know, sending a message. You want to test if those hands are really that heavy, are they that powerful, or are you just fighting the right opponents?
Just to show you how impressive Xander Zayas is, Quincy Williams, you mentioned those amateur accolades. He's 22 years old and is in the first fight of the night. Xander Zayas, 23 years old, and he's in the main event already with 2 titles around his waist.
I always like that name, Quincy. Smooth. For a fighter as well, you know.
Quincy Jones?
Quincy Jones, yeah, music mogul, you know, so yeah, Quincy Williams, you know, has the name, has good pop on his punch, and if you can get someone out that hasn't been knocked out, it's a hell of a feather in your cap.
I can't think of any other Quincy's. Is that it for Quincy's?
That's why it's such a nice name.
I was born in a Quincy.
Quincy, Massachusetts. There you go.
Isn't your middle name Fenton?
I'm Irish.
That's the opposite of nice.
Nice left hook there from Quincy Williams. He's trying to break down that high guard of Jerome Baxter.
And look at that feint that Quincy's doing. I love seeing that in young fighters. You know, he's an excellent 1-2 type puncher. Doesn't make many mistakes. Doesn't give you much to counter. But that little foot feint that he throws, let's try to get fighters to show you their cards, show you what they're going to throw for you to counter.
Yeah, and I think the opportunity here for Quincy Williams is to try to get a stoppage. You had
body shot.
Baxter go the 6-round distance with Amari Jones. It was the first time Amari Jones had gone the distance. If Quincy Williams can stop this guy, that would be a nice little step up for him.
Well, unfortunately for Baxter, only 1 of his 8 wins have come against an opponent with a winning record. So this would be by far the biggest win of his career as he eats a big right hand.
long right hand. He set that up, hit it behind a long jab. And like I said about Williams, he just keeps it twos and fews. It's a jab, long right hand. You know, whenever you're starting out, you don't really want to do too much. Just get the rounds going, get the jab going, that good body shot here and there. Excellent round by Quincy Williams.
He's trying to come out there quick. That's what he's doing. He's bracing his body. Because he knows him on. He might want the hard. He not hard. He needs his fast, hard, slow, nice, everything. Mix it up. Stop trying to kill with everything, bro. And use the jab. Breathe. One more. Bro, relax, bro. Please relax.
Sergio, our producer, has a question. Why do they pour water down the front of fighters' trunks? Cold water.
Cold water in the groin is going to wake up a fighter. You either put it behind their neck or in the groin area, and it definitely wakes you up.
George Costanza would say it would do something else to you. As we get set here for round 2.
I used to like cold water behind my neck every round. That's the main thing. You know, you have a ritual. You have every time you go back to the corner, you've been doing that for years with your team. So if he likes water down his trunks, that's what you have to do.
Round 2 scheduled for 8. Again, Quincy Williams has never been past the 4th round. He's knocked everybody out. In fact, 4 of his 6 KOs have been 10 counts where the opponent just lays on the canvas. You don't see that a lot nowadays. Referees will wave it off when they think the guy's not getting up.
I want to see Quincy Williams show some patience here. You know, not get over eager and fall off balance looking for that right hand. Just stay within your means. There you go. See, snap that jab out, double it, shorten it up, take it to the chest and the belly area. Don't get over anxious looking for that big right hand. See, right there, he needs to hide that right hand behind jabs.
Love the fact that Baxter's not shrinking away from contact or just trying to get through these rounds. He's on that front foot.
And he started the fight in his front foot.
Yep.
And Quincy Williams, another one of those guys that has participated in that team combat league. We see that more and more, Sergio, not just with young fighters, but some veterans out there jumping into that TCL to try to get some rounds and, you know, frankly, make some money.
Good body shot there by Baxter. He can start looping those shots over the top. Ooh. And he needs to watch out not getting hit with that same right hand. Chopping right hand by Williams. You know, when you're coming up, man, it's you want to get fights wherever they give them to you. So, you know, not only for get the rounds, the experience, the paycheck, but just stay busy. Working with different promoters and different outlets does just that.
I like the Baxter's targeting the body. And Williams is throwing those high shots to the head. Baxter, being the smaller fighter, ducks down and aims for the rib cage, but well, he's getting really aggressive, Sergio. Is he going to get burned here in a minute?
Well, he's getting caught with those check left hooks. But Williams, there it is. He just missed another big one. Baxter better start moving his head under those hooks or he's going to get caught and clipped with that check hook.
Good for Baxter, though, going in there trying to win these rounds. Very competitive round 2.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. You know, you could punch and dip. Expect the left hook coming. You know, you could throw away some punches, go under that shot, then you're in the advantage and catch Williams off guard and catch an angle on him.
Well, this is who Baxter has been in the 2 fights that we've called. He's not been a guy that's come in just looking to survive and collect the check. He's been trying to win. He tried to win against Amari Jones. He was just completely outclassed by a former Olympic bronze medalist. Here you see, again, a difference in skill between these 2 guys, but Baxter, he's not just here to survive these 8 rounds.
Looking good, looking good. Pull back right hand. Yeah, keep that right hand cocked. You want to be able to hit him right hand. If he's reaching, that right hand cocked. Keep the right hand cocked. So your front keeps moving. Keep the hands up. Keep that right hand cocked. Keep moving. You're doing good. You're doing everything looks good. All right, touch it out. You get hit at all? Establish that. Good, good. That's establish that. Talking to him.
See Baxter, you know, trying to catch him with that body shot. Sooner or later, you start looping those shots over the top. But what I don't like is that he's throwing that and trying to smother the shots. You open yourself up, squared up to an uppercut. So anytime you do go in there, you got to go with more than just one shot.
Here we go, round 3, our first fight of the night as we count down to our main event. Xander Zayas and Boots Ennis live exclusively on DAZN as Williams sat down on that right hand.
Williams just barely missed a big right hand. Baxter needs to get his chin out of the line of fire, start moving his head side to side. He was doing well going under the hooks. Now he needs to go side to side to avoid the straight shots by Williams. The body shots.
Baxter still not shying away, right in the line of fire. He's 2 inches shorter than Williams, so knows he has to close the distance, and he's certainly doing that. Quincy Williams, a standout amateur for Team USA, won the 2022 National Golden Gloves and was the first place in the 2020 USA Youth National Championships as well. Sergio, we hear all these amateur accolades for all these guys. What's the most important amateur medals you can win here in the U.S.?
National Golden Gloves is one of them. The U.S. Championships, of course, anything that on the national level you got to praise. And then you start going international. That's a different story. The Pan Am Games and everything else.
So my second place finish in the Baldwin County Golden Gloves didn't impress you much?
Where, in Alabama?
Yeah.
No way. See, Williams is just missing big shots because Baxter's not moving his upper body, keeping his chin in the same spot.
Was Baxter just barely missing his shots? He's
No.
This guy
Baxter is a polished 1-2 fighter. That's what made him a successful amateur. You know, he doesn't really give you too much to counter. It's 1-2s, rinse, repeat, catches distance, and he stays real calm. He fights like a polished pro already with only 6 fights.
And you can see the smile on Williams' face throughout this fight. Like he's feeling the best shots that Baxter has and not really, frankly, feeling any of them. He knows he can walk through this type of power. If he can get a little bit of separation, I think he has a chance to land something big in this one.
Yeah, that comes out of just, you know, not only the amateur experience, but the fact that you know that Baxter doesn't have enough speed or doesn't have enough power to really do anything. So he's just calm under pressure as Quincy Williams.
Williams turned pro at the age of 19. He's now 22. Struggled to stay active as a young fighter. Just 2 bouts last year and fighting for the first time this year.
I like how Quincy Williams keeps coming back to the middle of the ring. Anytime he gets near the ropes, it's like a magnet, you know, attracting him back to the middle. That's good ring generalship for a young kid.
Good right hand there from Baxter.
Well, so far, I think Baxter's given Williams his toughest test to date. Doesn't mean he's winning, but he's keeping it competitive.
Use that jab, body rhythm, and let everything come out the body. I mean, out the movement. You got me?
Yeah, give me a look.
How you feel?
Here we go. Give me a look, bro.
How you feel? Huh?
I feel good.
Great. Let's go. Breathe, breathe, breathe now from the 12. 3 more, go. 2 more, go. 1 more, go. Good job. Get up and work. I need that jab popping.
Mouthpiece. Come on.
Round 4, let's see if Baxter can make it to the 5th. If he does, he'll become the first opponent that Williams has faced to see the 5th round.
Well, I think that's part of the reason Baxter was brought in here. Going 6 rounds with Amari Jones, like it's not the greatest of ways to make a living being a prospect tester, but if you can go 6 rounds, 8 rounds, you can find yourselves in these types of fights making a little bit of money.
And he's not one of those opponents that you have to chase around the ring and not look good. He's going to be right there in front of him.
Yeah, he's trying. He's just
he just ate a big left.
The longer this fight goes, the more Baxter's going to have the advantage of maybe pushing, you know, Quincy Williams a little bit back and testing those runs, testing those legs. Good body shot there by Baxter.
Any chance Baxter's won around, Chris?
I don't think so. I think he's had a few good moments here or there, but the more consequential punches landed by Quincy Williams. But he is testing him. He is forcing him to fight back. He's not just someone there taking shots and giving up.
I think Baxter's having a good round right now, getting respect. Williams landing some good jabs, good body shots, staying, you know, circling around in the right direction, not getting hit with that right hand anymore.
And we look at the CompuBox power punches through round 3. Williams 25 of 78, Baxter 15 of 77. So similar output, but Williams much more accurate.
Good body shots there. So I want to see that more from Jaron Baxter. Those body shots, double up on one side as well.
And I agree with you. We're going to see what kind of condition Williams is in. He's never been anywhere close to the full 8 rounds, and Baxter is just grinding on him.
Yeah, you could see that he's against the ropes now. He's not breathing heavy, but his output is going down, and you can see that Baxter's actually getting a little bit more confident now. Fights real relaxed, real loose. He's not getting tired. Baxter's not breathing heavy.
That's how he did against Amari Jones. He got knocked down, I believe, in the first round and looked like, wow, this guy's going to get blasted out of there. He settled down and became a real thorn in the side of Jones over the next few rounds.
Now, one thing I like about a guy like Baxter, he loses that fight to Amari Jones back in January. Comes back 3 months later, small show, gets a win, puts himself right back into the mix.
30 seconds to go here in the 4th.
Good jab. I like that jab to the belly by Baxter. Especially if Williams is getting a little bit winded. That jab down to the torso, to the breadbasket, really annoys him and frustrates winded fighters.
Look at Baxter just planting his feet.
A good round by Baxter. I like the shoulder roll. He's coming back, not getting hit with anything solid. Except got hit with a nice jab right there.
There's a 2-piece for him right there at the end.
Big shot.
Right hand. He was winning the round until that shot, I think. Saturday fight night on DAZN continues as Diego Pacheco is back. The unbeaten super middleweight contender returns July 18th at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, taking on former WBC interim title challenger Emmanuel Aline. That's live and exclusively on the global home of boxing.
That fight's big, I think, for a couple of reasons. One, Diego Pacheco working with Buddy McGirt for the first time. And two, Sergio, he is a Mexican in Los Angeles. He has got to sell some tickets out there.
That's right, man. So you go, you're a resident of Los Angeles. Now you're getting accustomed to the Mexicans, the Mexican food?
No.
No se puede for you then. But I agree. You know, you got to sell. You got to sell that home-based fighter and sell tickets. Make yourself one of the attractions there in Southern California.
All right. Quincy Williams boldly going where he's never gone before. A 5th round. And kudos to Jaron Baxter for taking him there.
They call Quincy Williams the quiet storm. Right now, he needs to be a little bit more stormy than quiet. He needs to pick up the pressure and back up Baxter. You know, he got backed up in the last round. He needs to send a message in this 5th round.
Yeah, a little extra menace on those body shots from Williams. I think the message in the corner was, all right, let's start really honing in on this guy, see if we can get him out of there. Do you see Williams is going to be in one of those power guys that's going to make his way in the sport by knocking people out?
Well, if he gets it done here and keeps his high knockout ratio perfect, then yes. But if not, then I start questioning it, because Baxter has he's not a 50-50 fighter. He's a once-beaten fighter against a top prospect. So if you can actually knock out a fighter like Baxter, then you send a message, then you prove that power's real.
Yeah, if Baxter had any power, he could be a real problem. He's landed some of those left hooks, but they look like pillow shots. It doesn't affect Quincy at all.
Jaron Baxter's a good fighter. He's one of these guys that you want to keep in the gym, you know, around your prospect. You know, you want to keep him busy and test prospects as well, and that's exactly what he's doing here with Williams. Good shot, good right hand by Baxter.
Good follow-up, though, combination. Fighting well now at the back foot is Quincy Williams.
Left hook, and his body shots. Baxter still walking forward.
Now we're talking. See, Quincy Williams hurt him with that shot. 3 shots, 3 left hooks. Takes athleticism and balance to do that, and he was able to rip Baxter to the body. That caught the attention of Jaron Baxter.
And he kind of froze Baxter with those body shots. You usually see a headshot freeze a guy, but it was 3 straight body shots that froze Jaron Baxter.
You're not accustomed to getting hit with the same shot on the same side. You know, the great Roy Jones Jr. was, you know, one of few that was able to do that.
Man,
really
hellacious, sorry, Sergio, some hellacious uppercuts from Williams, but Baxter not phased.
It takes athleticism, and fighters aren't accustomed to getting hit repeatedly on one side. They're accustomed to going back and forth, you know, left, right, left, right, left, right. But when you start doubling and tripling it up, you break the monotony, and then that's when you can come up with a big power shot.
It's good work from Williams dealing with the pressure now of Baxter. He's getting his shots off before Baxter can get on the inside and smother him.
Good body work there by Baxter.
When Williams slows down, Baxter speeds up.
Let it go, let it go.
I think Williams is going to call this his best in-ring experience ever. I think he's learning a lot on the job tonight. Here's the back of Chris Mannix's head. The best part of his head, I would say.
He's looking good, but you can finish this shit if you give me 1 minute. I mean, 1 minute. 1 minute is 9 shots.
Baxter had some good moments. See, here's the triple left hook. First one was blocked, second was partially blocked, third one landed cleanly left. Seeing that, then going back downstairs is Quincy Williams. Good selection of combinations. Good punch selection there with the right uppercut, left hook. Baxter had his moments towards the end. The beginning was really nice by Quincy with that right uppercut. Beautiful shot. If he would have had his elbow a little bit closer to his hip, it would have done more damage with that uppercut.
Let's go.
We talked about the amateur accolades of Quincy Williams. As for Jaron Baxter, he was a pretty good amateur at the state level, 3-time Pennsylvania state champion. Never really made a big mark on the national scale, opting to turn pro at the age of 27. He's now 31.
Yeah, you can see the athleticism, the toughness. Just got into boxing probably a little bit too late. Maybe could have been something had he gotten into it 8, 9 years old, as some of these other guys do. But getting into it at 18, it's tough. It's tough to make it.
Oh, man.
How did Baxter stay up with that shot?
Didn't even get buckled. And he was flat-footed, too. Guy's made out of steel.
Jaron Baxter could take a shot. I mean, that was flush right on the chin. He absorbed every single, all the power of that shot, ate it up and kept coming forward.
Tough way to make a living, man.
And that's what I'm talking about with questioning the high knockout ratio, the perfect knockout ratio of Quincy Williams. If that power was legit, that would have at least dropped Baxter. Baxter ate that up like Pac-Man.
Don't push him, man.
Right behind the ear with that one from Williams. And Baxter lands a right hand.
Good shot by Baxter, man.
His corner yelling work. He hadn't stopped working since the opening bell.
Now turning southpaw against Williams. Squaring up, turning southpaw. But see, that's what he needs to do. Punch from any angle. Surprise the young Williams. What you don't want to do is stay at the outside of that jab. Those long arms, the taller, the rangier puncher in Williams.
Landing these punches, picking up points. I'm sure a couple of judges at least are going to give him a round or two. Just the output and the fact that he's the aggressor.
I think so far he's probably picked up 1 round. I want to say it was maybe the 4th. that he grabbed. The output's still there. Obviously, he's not phased yet by any of the power shots from Williams. He's just kind of outgunned. The power punches from Quincy Williams have been significantly more, significantly cleaner. Just better overall work from Quincy Williams.
Williams is keeping that lead left hand really, really low. Baxter should take advantage of that by doubling and tripling up those jabs and looping his right hand over the left shoulder of Quincy Williams.
Are you inside tapping to the body? Put leverage on him. Yeah, pick him. Listen, he's with me. You're running him down. He's fast. Yeah, he's fast. Aim where you throwing your punches at. A little water on his back. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Now put the leverage on this shit. Yeah, put some. Yeah. Let's keep them hands up. Don't think you want to throw punches. Keep them hands up. Punches right from here, Ron.
You know, the corner's just as enthusiastic as Baxter is. They're all into this fight. They think he can win it.
Well, I mean, he has his flashes of moments. He got hit with a clean shot. Look at this shot right there. Right on the chin. It wasn't even blocked. Baxter ate that up, and that actually gives confidence to a corner, and that's maybe why the corner of Baxter was so excited. They ate the best shot of what's supposed to be a big puncher in Quincy Williams.
So we're in round number 7. Can Williams keep his knockout streak alive? He's 6 for 6 so far, but this number 7 is a real tough customer. Fighting out of the Steel City. That's what he looks like he's made of.
You know, I mentioned, Sergio, that Baxter is something of a protege of Paul Spadafora. Not exactly fighting like Paul Spadafora.
That buckled Williams' legs a little bit. Go ahead, Chris.
Very different type of style than Paul Spadafora had.
Spadafora had a brilliant fight IQ.
He was slick.
He was slick. He was sharp. He was confident. What could have been with Paul Spadafora? See, that's the shot I want to see more from Baxter right there. He's been landing the body shots. Now loop the shots over the top.
You know, it's cliche to say things like a guy goes 7, 8 rounds, you learn a lot from it, but Quincy Williams can clearly take a lot from a fight like this. Like, his defense does need to be shored up. He gets some recognition that maybe his power isn't what it looked like in his first 6 fights. This is an educational experience, I think, for Quincy Williams.
Absolutely. You're not going to knock everyone out, and when you're dealing with a well-rounded, tough fighter that can take a shot like Baxter, you get humbled a little bit. You realize that power's not going to be enough in this game. You got to start sharpening up the other tools.
Williams has hit Baxter with everything he's got, but he keeps coming forward.
See right there, Williams should have caught and countered with those body shots, those slow body shots of Baxter. You know, catching and countering with uppercuts. Those are things you can work on the inside. Williams is going to need more than just the outside power. He's going to need the inside work as well. You can work that with Baxter. He's not a huge puncher.
And again, I also think activity will be the friend of Quincy Williams. Like, when you're at this stage, 22 years old, you've got to be fighting 3, 4, maybe 5 times in a year. You can't be going twice a year like he did in 25. First fight here, halfway through 2026. You got to ramp up that activity wherever you can get fights.
What do you think the problem is? Is it people won't fight him? Is it that he's not ready to fight?
No, I think there's a lot of reasons. Like, there's promotional issues. You know, he's represented by Peter Kahn. He's under Swift Promotions, which is Danny Garcia's promotional company, which is not a major promoter with a lot of dates. He's got to find his way just onto some shows and start racking up some fights.
Oh, they both sat in the pocket, landed a shot there. Williams hits harder. Good jab from Baxter, who just refuses to get out of this fight. He's in it to win it.
Nine action, no ball crack, sharp, smart. Everything behind jab. You can finish this fight with a jab.
Nice jab there to the belly by Williams, coming up with a short right hand. Baxter trying to land the same shot, but he pulled his back a little bit too much. Both of them landed cleanly right there. And it goes to show you the chin on Baxter and the ricochet, the right hand that actually landed on Quincy ricocheted. It wasn't really landed that cleanly. Great learning experience here for the undefeated Quincy Williams.
Touch gloves, come on, touch gloves.
All right, round number 8.
Keep it clean.
Baxter giving us a good performance, which forced Quincy Williams to give us a solid effort as well. Never been past 4. He's now in the 8th. Still looking for that KO. His corner was happy with what they saw from Williams in round 7.
I think the conditioning is something you gain from it as well. We were watching Quincy Williams in the corner after that last round. A lot of deep breaths, a lot of heavy breathing. You see him fighting right now. His mouth a little bit open as he came out of that corner. Just another lesson to be learned, the kind of condition you need to be in to beat guys at this 8-round level.
I'm glad you caught that. Good eye there, Mannix, because he's been breathing like that for about 4 rounds now. And maybe that's the reason he hasn't really put it into another gear and happy just with that jab. He hasn't really put combinations together, even though right there he put a nice combination to the body. 2 shots.
I was going to say, it's Williams who's on the front foot here in this round. Can he get Baxter out of there? Won't be easy.
See right there, he rolled. Williams rolled with that shot with that left, but he didn't come back with nothing.
I tell you, Jaron Baxter, you know, it's kind of like rooting for Rudy here. We're rooting for the guy that's probably down the scorecards, but Jaron Baxter is going to get calls after fights like this. Going to drop to 1 and 2 in 2026, but if you're going 6 with Amari Jones, you're going 8 with Quincy Williams. Some promoter out there is going to have a prospect in and around these weight classes that he's going to want to put Jaron Baxter in to get exactly this kind of test.
Yeah, quick knockouts are great, but you don't learn a lot. It doesn't really advance your career unless your name's Edgar Berlanga.
And it actually hindered him too in the long run. I mean, not in financially and getting the big fights, but in his all-around, you know, fight game.
Yeah, and I promise you, if there was a 168-pound version of Jaron Baxter that Edgar Berlanga could have fought back then, Top Rank would have found him. They were looking for guys that could go deeper than 1 round into guys that weren't too dangerous but more durable than the guys who wound up getting out of there.
Under a minute to go here in the 8th and final round. Nice left hook shot, spit out of the mouth of Baxter.
And there's the catch and counter I was asking by Quincy Williams. Catching that body shot and countering with that same hand.
I love the fact that Baxter looks like he's going for the KO too. He knows that's the only way he can win. And look at him coming right after Williams, who's hitting him with uppercuts galore. There's a left hook.
Man, Quincy Williams is thumping Baxter with some solid shots on top of the head, on the chin, coming forward. What a head, what a chin on Jaron Baxter. I mean, he's getting hit by every punch in the book by a big puncher in Quincy Williams, and he keeps coming forward.
10 seconds to go. And guess what? It's Baxter on the front foot to end the fight. Great performance from the underdog, but not nearly enough to dethrone the undefeated Quincy Williams.
Well, listen, I agree with Mannix. We're going to see Jaron Baxter test someone else again, and this was a good test, a solid test for Quincy Williams. A quiet storm, finally going the distance, and, you know, learning something. Maybe a little bit of humility. Not going to knock everyone out, but still passed the test. Got the W, and he moves on.
You think Peter Kahn's actually happy he went to 8 full rounds rather than win by knockout?
Yes, I think he's going to evolve as a better fighter. Absolutely. If you're a manager, you want to see your fighter go rounds.
Here's some highlights from round number 8 where Baxter, like you said, got hit with a kitchen sink but was still in it.
Yeah, but look at this catch and counter. The catch, bing, counter with the same hand. Williams could have been doing that the entire fight with body shots, with hooks, but Baxter was taking good shots. I mean, shots like that to the side of the head normally take your legs, take your equilibrium. Jaron Baxter was taking those shots and kept coming.
So Quincy Williams from Washington, D.C. will improve to 7-0, but for the first time does have to go the distance 8 full rounds, which is 4 more than he's ever gone before. We'll see if his stablemate later tonight can get a win. Xander Zayas in the main event. One of the brightest prospects in boxing continues his march towards a world title. Emiliano Vargas, the Ring Magazine's 2025 Prospect of the Year, fights Bryce Mills later tonight in our co-main event of the evening, live and exclusively on DAZN pay-per-view. David Diamante has the scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action here at Barclays Center, we go to the judges' score totals. All 3 judges scored this bout identically, 79-73 for your winner. He's still undefeated, Quincy Williams.
No surprise there. Baxter did get 1 round, but in the end, it was all Quincy Williams. What would you send him back to the gym to work on?
Maybe some footwork, some foot drills, some foot feints, more jabs, more creative jabs to set up that big right hand. You can't always be a long jab. Sometimes shorten it up. Sometimes hit it to the chest, to the belly. Be a little bit more creative with that offense.
Let's go into the ring and Chris Mannix.
Well, Quincy, congratulations. You get your 7th pro win, but you had to work hard to get this one. How did you feel about that performance?
I give it like a C. I could have did better. I've been out the ring for like 10 months, so I had to get my feet wet back again.
In what areas do you think you could have done better?
I could have boxed a little better, and I could have sat inside a little more with him. He didn't really hit too hard. I was just in my head a little bit about things the first 4 rounds.
Just because of the layoff?
Yeah.
We saw this guy, Jerome, go 6 rounds with Amari Jones. We knew he was durable coming into this fight. Could you tell right away this was going to be one of those fights that could be a long night?
No, I thought I was going to get him out there pretty early, but he surprised me.
Fights like this early in your pro career, they certainly can be a learning experience. What do you take away from a fight like this, what you need to work on back in the gym?
I gotta go back and see and watch. I can't say right now, but I can go back and see and watch. Yeah, for sure. My coach said patience, so patience. Early in the fight, I was trying to get him out of there. I could have slowed things down a bit.
You mentioned the activity. Just 2 fights last year, first one this year. How important is it to you to get going a little bit more in 2026?
Very important. I feel like, I gotta keep getting this experience and keep going these rounds, to get better.
Congratulations, Quincy.
Thank you.
Everybody, Kate Scott, Malik Scott here with you. Obviously, when we see a young fighter on a stage like this, Malik, they want to go out there and they want to shine. They know what kind of card this is and what kind of opportunity it is. He gave himself a C for that fight. What would you have given him, and what did you think of the performance overall?
I would agree with him. I would actually give him a C minus. I believe the 6-0 with 6 knockouts. I really didn't see the power that you would expect to see with a 6-0 and 6 knockout type of guy. But that comes with experience. What he have to do, in my opinion, is what Rasheem Jefferson told him: work on your patience, work on not fighting just 1 minute out of a round, and also he needs to take his time a little bit more when you want those knockouts. But those type of experiences come in time, and the more and more you fight. He did some incredible stuff in the fight. I think he could have caught shots and came back sometimes. He could have went with the uppercut through the high guard at times. He did a lot of beautiful things in the fight, but it's also so much stuff he could have worked on. And I agree with his trainer, Rasheem Jefferson, a lot, that he have to work on his patience. A lot of his shots was left hook, right hook, as you can see there, left hook, right hook. And his defense was a little bit open at times. All the answers is going to come from him. All the questions is going to be answered from him the more and more active he is.
Why does left hook, right hook mean a lack of patience?
I'm sorry?
Why does left hook, right hook, why does that signify a lack of patience?
Well, it depends on how you throw it. If you throwing a left hook, right hook so early and the guy is not there for it, and you throwing it from an emotional standpoint just because you want a knockout, that's lacking patience. What you really should do before that is set it up with feints, set it up with jabs, set it up with disengagements if you have to. Then go with big shots like a left hook, right hand.
We're going to take a look at the CompuBox totals for this fight as we're just waiting for those to come up. Oh, here we go. Okay, so you know, far superior in terms of shots actually landed, 34% accuracy versus that 21% accuracy for Jaron Baxter. Jaron Baxter still feel like he came out and had a good enough night like this. The guys think it will create further opportunity for him. Do you agree?
Yes, I totally agree. He went 6 rounds with I'm sorry, what's his name? That he went 6
Amari
rounds.
Jones.
Amari Jones. He went 6 rounds with Amari Jones. He just went the distance with Williams. So he's the type of opponent that actually make prospects better, or he can upset the apple cart at times. But he definitely should be back, and I plan on seeing him again.
And the same thought on Quincy Williams. Do you want to see him fight much more often? Not to beat a dead horse, but it seems like that's the unanimous message. We need to see you more often in the ring.
This was his first time fighting this year, and I believe in other years he has fought 1 or 2 times.
He fought 2 fights in 2025. This was his first fight this year. Right?
Yeah, that's just too lack right there. A young fighter like him with that minimum fights, he only have 6. He should be fighting a lot more. And those questions that we're talking about will get answered the more active he is.
Well, congratulations to Quincy Williams. A win's a win. After all, we are in Brooklyn tonight, everybody, at the Barclays Center for Saturday Fight Night. There is just so much good boxing content available for you on the DAZN platform. The Spotlight Series is one, and that showcases the sport's rising stars from around the world. Amongst others, you can catch up with the ring's 2025 Prospect of the Year, Emiliano Vargas, before his fight tonight against Bryce Mills. Let's talk about that fight a little bit. Emiliano Vargas, of course, knows that tonight is just a huge opportunity to showcase his skills, showcase his power in front of an audience like this. It's also an opportunity to prove that he is getting closer and closer to a world title shot.
I'm right at the door of becoming a world champion, and Bryce Mills is in my way, so I'm gonna step on him.
A win against someone like Vargas takes my career off. It projects it and truly puts me in world title contention.
I would call myself a finisher, but I got a lot of tools in my bag. I can box, I can punch. I can do anything necessary to win that night.
You got to prepare for his power and, you know, his setups, his combinations, his hand speed. So those are all stuff that I've prepared countless time and time again over this training camp.
His biggest weakness, I think, he fights like he has power, which he doesn't. I think that's his biggest weakness. So once he tastes my punch, he's gonna see what's up. He's gonna walk into something.
I find that we match up very well. I think that I can push him on his back foot, which he hasn't done much of.
You say don't blink, and you have 7 knockouts, 8 knockouts. You're not scary, bro.
People don't know my name yet because I haven't been on the co-main event on DAZN just yet. But no one's known until they get a moment like this and they shine in the bright lights, and that's what I plan to do.
There's no pressure. It's either going to be dominance or I knock him out.
He doesn't have many weaknesses, but I'm going to be the one that's going to expose him Saturday night.
What's my prediction for fight night? I'm going to stomp on him, and I'm going to prove to him and his team that nobody can save you.
I mean, opportunities for Emiliano Vargas on a night like this, co-main on a stage like this, that comes because of the last name that he carries in part, but also because of the way he performs in the opportunities that he's been given. What do you like about him as a fighter, and how do you rate his progress as he's trying to push eventually towards world title contention?
Well, Emiliano Vargas, he passed the eye test concerning everything. He checked box speed, he checked box reflex, he checked box counterpunching, and even outside the ring, he's a very marketable young man. He looks well, got the Vargas last name, he fight with tons of pride and honor and morality. He just have everything. What I am waiting to see is him get tested, and him get tested from a physical standpoint where things aren't going his way and he's being roughed up. His feathers are being shaken a bit, and I want to see how he reacts from an emotional standpoint when things aren't going his way. We're going to see if his opponent can do it tonight.
Yeah, if he gets that kind of challenge, we'll find out, won't we? That's later on this evening, the co-main tonight. Meanwhile, let's head back ringside for more action and to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, USA, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special super bantamweight attraction. Now entering the arena, desde Juana Diaz, Puerto Rico, please welcome Edwin Puto Rodriguez.
stopped. The bad news is he rarely stops anybody. He hasn't knocked anyone down or won by KO in over 11 years.
Yeah, but he is experienced against undefeated opponents. 12 unbeaten, undefeated fighters in past 16 fights. He did beat 4 of them, lost 7, draw once.
Puto Rodriguez.
And now entering the arena from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, please welcome the undefeated Dennis NFUP Thompson.
Well, just like our main event, it's Philadelphia versus Puerto Rico. This time it's the quiet storm. Dennis Thompson, 49% of you think he's going to win. They give the edge to Edwin Rodriguez. Chris, what do you think of that?
I think I don't know if I agree with that, but look, Dennis Thompson is not invulnerable. We saw him back in October on the last Boots Ennis card, almost had his O taken in what was a pretty entertaining scrap against Sean Diaz. Remember, just 20 years old, so there's a lot of jitteriness I've seen early in the career from Dennis Thompson, but he has a lot of skills. Cites Prince Nassim Hamed as his boxing role model. If he can live up to that, probably going to be a pretty good fighter.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York, USA, live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Top Rank Incorporated, Boots Promotions, and Universal Boxing. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside: Nicholas Esnault, Benoit Roussel, and Don Trella. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring, referee Michael Griffith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the red, white, and blue trunks. He scaled 121 1/2 pounds. Professional record, 12 victories, 11 defeats, 3 draws, with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Desde Juana Diaz, Puerto Rico, Edwin Puto Rodriguez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the baby blue and yellow trunks, official weight 120 3/4 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign as a professional with a record of 10 victories, no defeats, 6 of his 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Dennis NFUP Thompson.
Dennis. All right, you men receive my instructions. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now, men. You're boxing at the bell. God bless you both.
Dennis Thompson, trained by Derek Ennis, the older brother of Boots Ennis. Just the 3rd time in his career he's fought an opponent with a winning record, but it's just barely a winning record. 12-11-3. That's Edwin Rodriguez, who's here to spoil the prospect party tonight in Brooklyn.
That is not a winning record. That's a 50-50 type record. And whenever you're dealing with someone that's 10-0, flawless, you expect some of these 50-50 fighters, but Rodriguez is a spoiler. He does have some names. He's faced a bunch of undefeated, unbeaten opponents, so he's a solid 50-50 spoiler type to have on your record.
Yeah, that record could have been much more inflated had he chosen to face weaker opposition, but Rodriguez wants the best guys he can get, and he's got an unbeaten fighter in front of him in Dennis Thompson.
You can see right away these skills of Dennis Thompson. Great jab, good speed, nice footwork. I felt against Sean Diaz, he was dragged into Diaz's type of fight. Diaz was showboating. He was trying to make it physical. That's just not Dennis Thompson's game. He needs to fight behind his skill set, use that jab, that power. Great start, first minute of this fight for Dennis Thompson.
Yeah, that jab can't miss right now from Dennis Thompson.
Sergio, I've seen people compare Dennis Thompson to another fighter out of Philly, Jeff Chandler, if you remember him from way back in the day, another bantamweight champion.
Another thing about Edwin Rodriguez, El Puto, sorry, I'll respond to you right now, but another thing is...
Just say no. That's all right.
I remember Chandler, I do. Another thing about him is...
Not from Friends, we're talking about the boxer.
I don't watch Friends. He's never been stopped. So, look, you want that. Out of 26 fights, he's never been stopped by a lot of undefeated opponents. So it could be a big deal if Dennis Thompson can actually be the first one to stop someone that like Rodriguez, who takes a big shot.
Well, this is the first scheduled 8-round bout of Dennis Thompson's career. The rest have been 6 or shorter.
Getting some great opportunities being part of this kind of Team Boots, you know, fighting on these undercards, big shows, big stages.
No jabs from Rodriguez. He's just coming in, you know, moving his head, the high guard defense. He has quick in and out feet, but no jab. You know, whenever you're a shorter fighter, and he is a shorter fighter at 5'5", you need to double and triple the jabs with speed. And then you can bang the body once you break that range and distance of the taller, rangier Thompson. He's just like that. Body shots.
Thompson looks comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah, a lot of top fighters, you know, are comfortable in the pocket. I love seeing that, especially when they're near the ropes. They're not afraid of being pinned up by a shorter fighter.
These Philly fighters certainly aren't afraid to mix it up.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing by Dennis Thompson. See, this is range control. That's a quick jab, good pop to the punches, good punch selection.
Didn't like my Jeff Chandler reference though.
Nice hand speed there from Dennis Thompson as we wind down round 1.
Keep using that head. Keep turning. We can't deal with it. We can't do nothing until you use that head, bro. Use it. When you sit down, though, touch that body. And turn, though. He looking for one shot. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Keep moving the speed. The speed is it. Turn. You're not going to be there for none of that. You don't got to sit. When you sit there, you're giving him a chance. Don't let him touch you at all. Keep that jab up, down with that jab. When he walks in the ring, stab down. That stab down is going to take a lot out of him. And then his hands are high. Come around the joint. Oh, his hands are high. It's easy. Keep 1, 2, 3 and turn. Every time you stop, 1, 2, 3, turn. 1, 2, 3, turn. Every time.
Here we go with round 2. Pretty entertaining round 1 as Rodriguez forced Thompson to work a little bit, and Thompson was more than willing to do it.
Good shot there. Nice right hand by Rodriguez. See, he broke that midway distance and finally landed a good shot.
Well, Rodriguez started his career at 8-1, won a regional title, but since then he's only won 4 of his 17 bouts.
Good body work there from Dennis Thompson. Kind of got the attention of Rodriguez.
Yeah, Thompson rather looks like he's looking for the KO. He wants to blast this guy out of there.
Yeah, and you don't want to go looking for the KO. You want to set it up behind jabs, and that takes maturity.
Good counter right from Rodriguez, but he's eaten 3 punches to land 1. Boy, it's a phone booth fight, and Thompson's coming out the better of it. This is not the kind of fight we thought we'd see. Chris, would you be advising Thompson to go here?
I think if I'm Thompson, I want to use my range. Look, you see the height, length advantages for Dennis Thompson. I want to use more of that. The fight in the phone booth is more what Rodriguez wants. He doesn't want to have this fight be more of a clinical boxing match. He may not win it. Dennis Thompson landing the stronger shots, but
it's a fun fight.
Fun fight.
That's what we're in the game for. This Saturday Fight Night live on DAZN. Hope you're enjoying the prelim bouts. Main card starting in a little over an hour from now. Good hand speed from Thompson, but man, Rodriguez just not letting him breathe. Rodriguez Rodriguez only knows one gear, Chris. I think it's march forward and try and throw hooks.
No, he's not the naturally more skilled fighter. That is Dennis Thompson, and he's trying to get him into some kind of war here.
The face of Rodriguez is already turning tomato red.
Thompson doing a good job circling the ring to his left. You know, keeping that the nice guard up, nice jab, popping it, bringing the punches right back to his face. Every time he lets go of his shots, he brings them right back.
Rodriguez, not really a power guy. 5 KOs in his 12 wins. Thompson a 60% KO rate. Wonder if they keep this up for 6 more rounds.
This is what Rodriguez wants to fight. He wants to break that long range.
Nice overhand right there from Rodriguez, and the crowd responds. He lands another one. Great effort from this Puerto Rican underdog.
Pero, oye, con calma, párate bien. Ese jab que llegue, puto, mira. Mira, ese jab que llegue, deja que ese jab llegue. Vamos, deja que ese jab llegue. Mira, métele, olvídate de la otra. Métele ese jab con el pie, ¡pam! Mira.
Good looping shots there by Adrian Rodriguez. Look, the straight shots land for Thompson, but once Rodriguez broke that distance, he was able to loop the shots, especially when Thompson was against the ropes. Good body shots going down, going upstairs, going around the guard of Dennis Thompson. Good chopping right hooks right there. That's the fight Edwin Rodriguez wants to put on as a spoiler here.
You know, we have seen these last 2 fights, professional B-sides, professional opposition. For Rodriguez, 3 of his last 5 opponents have had undefeated records. So he's used to going up against these types of guys. And, you know, he gets beat a lot, but you got to have something in order to beat him. You've got to be able to take him to another level. He's limited in what he can do, but this pressure, this is exactly how he fights.
Good body shot there by Thompson. See, you got to soften guys up like this. If you're going to be on the back foot, you're going to be having a counter downstairs.
Chris, do you think Thompson or Rodriguez won round 2?
I probably lean more towards Thompson there. Competitive, though, certainly. And I think the activity and the pressure of Rodriguez might make the judges lean his way.
Well, let's see what CompuBox has to say. A lot of punches have been thrown. Thompson, 66 at 280. Rodriguez, 44 of 140.
Yeah, that 282 stands out for Dennis Thompson. He's been letting his hands go, and obviously 22 more landed punch. So accuracy on the side of Rodriguez, but sheer output, volume, that's right now on the side of Thompson. That's why I think he's probably out to a 2-0 lead.
Look at the grin on the face of Rodriguez. He's happy going forward. He has a nice upper body movement, so he's not a stationary target for Thompson to low boots with that jab, and he closes that distance, and this is Rodriguez's fight right here.
And this is where the crowd comes alive. They want him to put his forehead on his chest and start winging bombs.
Looping shots, keeping it tight, digging the body, and pushing back the taller opponent. Edwin Rodriguez playing the perfect spoiler role, as he always does.
It's got to feel great for Rodriguez to get this kind of fan support. On the second fight of the night, Chris, there's barely anybody here, but it sounds half full, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's already the crowd's starting to fill in a little bit. And again, a lot of Puerto Rican fans are going to be in this building tonight in support of Xander Zayas.
Good shot there by Rodriguez over the top.
And another one. Thompson loads up.
Thompson better start punching and dipping. He's keeping his head in a straight line of fire, and he's getting hit by the looping shots of Rodriguez.
We know Rodriguez can fight like this all night long. We don't know if Thompson can do it.
No, this is Dennis Thompson's first scheduled 8th-round fight, so going to be a lot more rounds just like this.
And with this crowd response, Sergio, the judges can't help but perhaps be influenced a little bit.
They have to be, yeah. I mean, that's part of being not only the Puerto Rican fighter from the home, you know, in your Puerto Rican home base in New York, but the fans sway judges. The fans actually sway the action sometimes, the momentum.
right hand up, though. If you go jab out to your left, all you're doing is throwing the right hand. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to tap that joint. If you gonna tap that joint, sit and tap that joint, shoot that shit back up there. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna sit there, you ain't your leg.
This is where Thompson does not want to be. He's a longer fighter, the rangier fighter. He needs to be in the middle of the ring, using that height, using that reach, and not being squared up against a shorter 5'5" fighter in Rodriguez, playing the spoiler, head in the chest, looping the shots, and landing good hooks, left and right hooks in that round. A lot of momentum swayed in the opposite side of Edwin Rodriguez in that round.
Well, this is a fun fight. The last one wasn't too shabby either. That's not always the case on these undercards. Usually it's a 90-10 kind of matchup.
And we've seen this now twice on the bigger stages with Dennis Thompson, where he's kind of been dragged into his opponent's type of fight. We saw it back in October against Sean Diaz, and I think we're kind of seeing it here. I mean, he's got the power to certainly cause damage on the inside against Rodriguez, but Rodriguez is making him fight his fight.
Sergio, what's more important for a young up-and-coming fighter like Thompson? Nice right hand. Would it press you more if he were able to establish his game plan and avoid being drug into these kind of exchanges? Or would it press you more that maybe he goes, you know what, I'm going to show that I can do well under pressure, and in these exchanges, I can learn better doing this rather than just stand outside and box?
Well, it's a little bit of both. You're going to have to stand in fire sometimes, catch and counter and fight on the inside. You want to evolve as an all-around good fighter, but you don't want to get hit while you're going through that evolution. So better upper body movement if you're Dennis Thompson. You know, smarter jabs, showing up those jabs, alternate those jabs. Throw some foot things, get Rodriguez to fall off balance and catch him with uppercuts. There's a lot of things you need to do to become not only a prospect into a contender, but then a contender to champion.
Rodriguez appears to have slowed down at least a little bit, but how could he not? Came out like a freight train those first 3 rounds.
But the main thing you want to see with a young fighter is the jab. You're 20 years old. You have advantages of speed, power, range, height. So you want to just slow things down. That's what I want to see with young fighters. You know, slowing things down, looking for the right shot, punch placement, and not overload on too many right hands. And of course, body shots. You know, working the body is always a great thing when you're a young fighter.
Minute to go here in round 4.
Nice uppercut there by Thompson. It was a short right uppercut. That's what you want to do with a short fighter that's leaning forward. You want to pick his head up with uppercuts.
Some slapping punches there from Thompson.
There you go. There's 2 uppercuts now. Right and left uppercuts. Thompson has the right idea now. Picking up the fighter, picking up Rodriguez with uppercuts and then digging down to the body, but getting away from the ropes just like that.
Good uppercut again from Thompson.
Yeah, those uppercuts are getting good to Thompson now. You can see that he's bending his legs, you know, making himself a shorter target and digging up, picking up, you know, Rodriguez with those uppercuts.
Best round of the fight so far for Quiet Storm, Dennis Thompson. September the 12th, Canelo Alvarez returns to the ring in a super middleweight blockbuster, taking on undefeated knockout artist Christian Mbili, who puts his WBC title on the line, live and exclusive on DAZN as part of your Ultimate subscription. Sergio, how much trouble do you think Mbili is going to give Canelo?
A lot, because he's short, he's compact. He's probably a stronger fighter than Canelo. He's not necessarily the harder puncher, but the stronger, naturally bigger fighter. And once he gets on the inside, he can cause headaches. He's a mauling type fighter where you can't pull back your punches.
Vamos, listo, aire.
Aire. Take a deep breath.
Siempre que salga, sale con el jab.
Look, anytime you back up, you gotta back up with the jab.
Round 5 scheduled for 8. Thompson's never been the full 8 rounds before. He's been the 6-round distance 3 times. Just 20 years old, fighting out of Philadelphia. 122-pounder. You know, this could be a close fight. You never know. One judge, two judges could have it 2-2. Maybe 4 or 3-1 maybe for Thompson.
No, I just think the clean punching from Thompson is a pretty big difference maker in this fight. The pressure's been there from Rodriguez, but even especially these last couple of rounds, even when he's got him back against the ropes, it's felt like Thompson has done the much better work.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dennis Thompson has gotten hit. He got roughed up, but the cleaner shots, he didn't look through. That's a clean shot landed by Rodriguez. Another clean jab, closing the distance. Just the good combinations, the creativity of Dennis Thompson, especially when he digs the body. He's been ripping those uppercuts. I just like the better shots.
Well, Rodriguez's activity has slowed down, certainly, in the last round and in this round. And he's not going to beat Thompson unless he can throw as many, if not more, punches.
Look, I like those straight shots by Thompson, even if they're hitting gloves. You know, you're keeping them at bay. You're keeping them at your range. And if he's giving you those gloves, keep punching at those gloves. What you don't want to do is just overload with power punching that glove. Just keep touching them with speed. Speed and technique. There's a looping shot that I want to see Rodriguez. He needs to fool Thompson into that shot. So you got to start throwing shots downstairs, right hooks to the body, and then you can come and try a home run looping shot over the top.
Hey, Chris, big news yesterday in boxing. Alexander Usyk giving up his title, saying he's going to fight one final time. Why do you think he did that, and who do you think he fights?
Well, he was obviously facing a deadline to face Agit Kabayel or be stripped of his WBC title. I think electing to give all of them up, kind of just an all-encompassing move, saying I'm not just dumping the WBC belts or going to fight Kabayel. I'm going to dump everything and give other fighters opportunities. You can spare me the whole Usyk is ducking argument. I mean, give me a break. He's fought everybody. He's not ducking Agit Kabayel off the stage. Doesn't need a fight like that. I'd like to see him fight a rematch with Rico Verhoeven. Maybe find a way to put his Ring Magazine title on the line. No, Rico probably doesn't qualify for that, and then fade off into the sunset as the best heavyweight of this generation.
Well, he's always mentioned he wanted to fight Deontay Wilder. You never know if that could be an option. Also wanted to fight the United States.
He's done that before, though, a couple of times, so Wilder I'd be okay with as well. That'd be another fighter from that generation to take on.
Métele presión a esas manos abajo, párate bien para que no te pueda mover los pies puestos, para que no te pueda mover, le mete las manos abajo, pero que lleguen por el lado. Vamos.
I need you to attack the body, you understand? You gotta throw shots upstairs.
Hay que mejorar ahora. Ok. ¿Cuánto va el tipo aquí, Raúl? 4.
Come on.
Vamos. ¿Cuánto nos falta? No te dejes dar. Adelante, atrás con las manos arriba.
You gotta go forward with the hands up. You can't let him push you back. Let's go.
Mira, bloqueamos.
Listen.
Mira, ese jab cuando tira el del por el lado y subes con open y
listen, when he throws that jab, you gotta block that jab, go around the guard.
Check it out, let's go.
All right. And so it continues. A good round 5 for Dennis Thompson, who had some hairy moments, I'd say, in rounds 2 and 3. Rodriguez really turned up the heat. But Thompson has just outworked him. And for the record, Dennis Thompson, Sergio, looks in incredible shape.
And incredibly sharp. I like the punches that he's throwing. Now he's touching with the 1-2 and coming around with a hard left hook, trying to catch Rodriguez around the guard. Really smart by him doing that, but still backing up, not letting the shorter fighter break that distance.
Yeah, he's decreased the output of Rodriguez considerably over these last few rounds because Rodriguez started to feel some of these shots coming back. Rodriguez still moving forward, but not throwing anywhere near as often as he was in the first 3-4 rounds of this fight. Now, some guys are just professional chins. That's kind of what we've got in Rodriguez here. I've covered a lot of them over the years. I remember Derek Finley, one of my favorite chins for hire, would always fight these top guys, very rarely get knocked out, and find lots of opportunities for stuff like that.
Well, now, Rodriguez is now starting to touch Thompson's chin a little bit after 2 quiet rounds in a row.
Yeah, once he breaks that long range and the reach of Thompson, then he just punches away at the hips, at the elbows and forearms, and that's what shoulder fighters need to do. They need to muck it up and then fight a small man fight.
Oh, big left. Sharp left hand from Edwin Rodriguez, who's come back to life, Sergio.
Thompson needs to go back to the uppercuts. He was ripping those uppercuts, picking up Rodriguez. He needs to go back to that, but he needs some space in between both of them. Step back slightly and then come ripping with the right and left uppercuts.
Thompson is getting pushed back against the ropes by Rodriguez, and this is where he lives and breathes. He doesn't want to be in the middle of the ring. He wants in the trenches. Good body shot from Rodriguez. He can't outbox him, Sergio, but he can outgrind him.
A little half move like that, just stepping out, stepping around, trying to create some space there. Need more of that from Dennis Thompson when he's in these positions.
Yeah, it's not a good look for Thompson to be against the ropes like this, against a shorter fighter. He's getting hit with silly shots like that, pulling back.
That moved Thompson a little bit.
That's where he needs to be, right in the middle of the ring, popping that jab. Got to run in Rodriguez to the right hand, and on the inside, rip him up with some uppercuts.
I mean, these types of styles, these types of fighters can give more elite boxers problems. Just ask William Zepeda when he fought Shakur Stevenson.
I'm forgetting to move that head too, though, dude. Sometimes you throw a little shot and you stand right there on the line. Move that head and go to your left, go to your left. And when you sit there, stop sitting on the so much. Stop sitting on the left. When you want to drop right here, move up out, get out. When he's sitting there, give me the right hook.
We see Rodriguez smothering the shots, landing a good left hook, going around the guard and being squared up. Squared up like that is not a good thing. That's where Thompson can take advantage of the uppercuts down the middle. But good shots like that prevented Thompson from throwing and ripping shots to the body and coming up under the guard with uppercuts. Good round. Good sequence there by Rodriguez.
Round 7 of 8 here from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The second of our 3 preliminary fights before our main card gets underway at about 8:15 Eastern Time.
You know, to me, Thompson's got to get a little bit better on his feet. He's got to be more nimble on his feet. Don't let a guy like this pressure him. Look, he's only 20 years old, so there's a lot more room to grow. But, you know, kind of until he develops that man strength and is knocking guys out at a higher rate, you've got to use the entirety of the ring. Use that athleticism. Clearly athletic. Use that athleticism, that length, win fights that way, and not let guys drag you into these types of fights.
And controls the aggression of Rodriguez with jabs, double, triple the jabs, everything else.
Yeah, good output again from Dennis Thompson. 115 for 86 landed, but nearly 200 more punches thrown. That's been a big difference maker in this fight.
That's a lot of punches for anybody.
Power punches, you point out. Those are power shots.
If you drag that stat out over 12 rounds, that's 1,000 power punches from Thompson.
Yeah, not a lot of just simple jabs being thrown in this fight. These guys are throwing bombs at each other.
Good right hand there by Rodriguez.
Rodriguez on his horse a little bit. Thompson's like, hey, you want to grind? Let's grind. I'm still impressed with Thompson's physical conditioning. I mean, he hasn't slowed down at all. Looks so fresh in there, on his toes. Now he's starting to back Rodriguez up.
The fight's relaxed.
Yeah.
Even when he's coming forward, he fights really relaxed. You know, he's not really worried about nothing.
This is where he should be, Sergio. If Rodriguez wants to keep backing up, Thompson just let him. Say, hey, we're going to fight in the middle of the ring. That's where I want to be. You want to stay on the outside, so be it. But
Yeah, that's when you send a message. Like, I'm not moving. You got to push me back. You got to send a message. I'm right here in the middle. I'm not going to be hard to find.
Looks like Rodriguez is trying to take this round off till we get to the 8th. Not engaging. Running away.
So when you're not engaging, you just got to attack the body. Even if they're jabs, attack the body. That's going to be easier to get the movement, the lateral movement from Rodriguez to stand still and land a combination.
Now Thompson Rodriguez fighting a little bit. So we will go to the 8th and final round.
I need more shots. Press it back now. He's not going to run. He's going to just keep on going. Double jab. So, he's double the jab and chop that shit down. This joint down here all the time. You gave me hook my hand one time. Keep giving it to me.
No, primero hace pam pam y después cuando tú entres sigue. Paso atrás, mano y mano tú primero.
Step back. You got to throw the hands first. Step back. And then you dig that body. You got to touch him and bang him to the body with that left hand.
Let's see if Edwin Rodriguez saved a little gas in the tank for the last 3 minutes. As the quiet storm is getting louder and louder by the round. Thompson's first time ever fighting in New York. It's been a good experience so far, and I think he's learned a lot from having to deal with this guy like Edwin Rodriguez, who wants to put his forehead on your chest and just beat you to death.
Yeah, and this is what you learn from veterans, 26-fight veterans that never been stopped. You know, they have these little crafty moves not to get hit with solid shots. They know how to survive. They know how to, you know, be pesky.
Yeah, over these last 2 fights, these are the kind of fights that matchmakers love. You see Brad Goodman sitting ringside, Kevin Rooney of Matchroom sitting ringside. When they've got prospects like we saw with Quincy Williams, like we're seeing here with Dennis Thompson, you want to get opponents that aren't super dangerous, aren't going to run the risk of knocking out your fighter or beating your fighter, but test them in the exact same way that Rodriguez is testing Thompson.
See, Rodriguez is looking to exchange with you right here. This is where foot feints come in. This is where the jab. This is where moving, using your legs, letting Rodriguez run into a shot, being overly aggressive come in. This is where Thompson needs to be a quiet storm. He needs to quiet things down and run Rodriguez into a big counter.
There's a good right from Rodriguez, who's trying to win another round here. Rounds 2 and 3 were really good rounds for the Puerto Rican. Not sure if he won them both, but since then he's slowed down, hasn't had the same kind of success, but here in the 8th, he's found his second win. A minute left. Thompson looking to go the full 8 rounds for the first time.
And we were talking about, you know, Rodriguez never being stopped, you know, being a crafty fighter. Sometimes whenever you're dealing with a fighter who's never been stopped, it's because he didn't come to win. He's a journeyman. Rodriguez is pesky, though. He gets his shots, he comes in, so it really tests fighters like Dennis Thompson, undefeated fighters that haven't really looked at a lot of different styles.
Looks like there's a cut on the right hand, right part of the head of Rodriguez, but that's just made him more aggressive. The crowd rising up, trying to get this guy going with half a minute left. Hasn't been much for the referee to do because these guys don't stop throwing punches. Not sure he's had to break them once, and here we go. They're letting their fists fly here at the Barclays in Brooklyn.
Good action right there by both, catching and countering as Dennis Thompson.
Good stuff here tonight. Rodriguez, who really, at least according to the Vegas bookies, had no chance to win this fight, but he didn't listen to them. He had some really good moments there in the last round, rounds 2 and 3 as well, and really pushed Thompson like maybe nobody's really pushed him before.
And you can see the smile on the face of Edwin Rodriguez. You know, this is what he does. He's a born spoiler. If he goes the distance against another undefeated fighter, doesn't get stopped, it's actually a moral victory for fighters like Rodriguez. Born spoilers.
36% of you believe Edwin Rodriguez won the fight. A little biased, are we? There's no way he won the fight, but he won a few rounds, I think.
And he won the crowd, a little bit of the crowd here. And he did it by taking chances, you know, squaring up, getting hit with some shots like that, but coming right back, not giving respect to Dennis Thompson. And you see the head clash right there that caused the cut. But whenever you're that offensive and that short, you're bound to clash heads. And there you go. There you see Thompson, the taller fighter, bending down and making it easier for the 5'5" Rodriguez to clash heads. Nice left hook right there, landed by Rodriguez. Both of them squared up, and this is a big no-no for tall fighters. And this is where Rodriguez got his in, and that's the reason he had a grin from ear to ear.
Great effort by both of these fighters, Edwin Rodriguez and Dennis Thompson. Ben Whittaker has captured the UK boxing fans' attention with his speed, charisma, and showmanship. But tonight, in his U.S. debut, the Surgeon faces a dangerous step up against veteran Richard Popeye Rivera and a can't-miss light heavyweight cracker. It's Popeye the Sailor Man versus the Surgeon later tonight. Still one more fight to go on our prelim card. That'll be Juanma Lopez and Alberto Motos. That's next. It's time for our decision now, and David Diamante has the scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action here in Brooklyn, we go to the judges' score totals, and they read as follows. Robin Taylor, 79-73, Thompson. Benoit Roussel, 77-75, Rodriguez. And Nicholas Esnault scores this contest 77-75 for your winner by split decision. He's still undefeated, Dennis NFUP Thompson.
That was not expected, Todd. You called it. You said maybe the Rodriguez caught some rounds. Well, one judge gave it to Rodriguez. 79-73 Thompson, 77-75 Rodriguez. That is the polar opposite. 2 completely different fights were seen by the judges.
Well, hey, he gave it his all, and one judge thought he did enough to win, but in the end, the quiet storm. Dennis Thompson improves to 11-0 as we send it back upstairs to Kate.
Thank you very much, Todd. Yes, Kate Scott, Malik Scott here with you. Yeah, listen, I think we're probably all surprised, are we, that it's not a unanimous decision for Dennis Thompson. At least that's the way I saw it. But what we did see was an uncomfortable fight for Dennis Thompson.
Yes, and you want to know, he should take pride in that, you know, he was given some questions and he answered them all with flying colors. He passed all the tests. He was dealing with a guy that was putting pressure on him. He kept his presence in his face, and he was dealing with mental pressure as well, because every time he hit Rodriguez was coming right back each time. And what does that do for a young fighter? It helps them deal with the mental aspect. Everybody you hit, you're not going to knock out. And there was times also that I thought he could have been spinning off the ropes from his offense. Right there, he could have turned sometimes. There was a time that his trainer, who Ennis was actually telling him that bring the right hook around the jaw. If you're from Philly, you know what right hook around the jaw mean. Around the jaw mean around the high guard. And he was listening and doing it at times, but in my opinion, at times he was too much right here on the ropes. He laid on the ropes a little bit too much. He's a young kid, 20 years old, and he learned so much from this fight. I didn't think it should have been a split decision. I thought he won most of the rounds. I thought his opponent had a lot of good testing moments for him, but I don't think it was a split decision. But that's the type of fight that most prospects or all prospects need, those type of tests.
When he goes home and watches this fight again, what will he feel pleased about how he handled in the fight?
He's going to feel pleased that he showed guts, he showed glory, he threw combinations. He's not going to be happy how much he was sitting on the ropes, though. He's going to look at that fight and say, I could have got off the ropes a lot more after my offense.
Dang, over 1,000 punches thrown compared to Rodriguez's 562. That's a high output for the young man. Impressive performance all in all on a stage like this. Is that one he'll go home and feel content with how he performed on a stage like this kind of night?
Yeah, he'll feel content and he'll be happy that every question that was asked of him he answered, but he will want to get better and he will want to handle a lot of things a little bit more with ease. I heard Sergio saying he should have been actually using foot feints to stop the guy in his tracks. Put the jab down to the body, use the jab more. A lot of times when he had center of the ring, he wasn't using his jab. He did more offense tonight when his back was against the rope instead of doing a lot more offense when he was in the center of the ring. So he'll learn from that and come back.
Right, well, we're certainly very happy to have you here with us tonight as we bring you just a great night of fights live from here from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. The pay-per-view schedule on DAZN is just absolutely stacked, and all of them are available to you at one price with DAZN Ultimate. Tonight, you've got Xander Zayas and Boots Ennis, who behind us are going to have their unified junior middleweight showdown. We're looking forward to that one. On July 25th, former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua returns to the ring. That one against Christian Prenga in Jeddah. August 29th, one of boxing's brightest young heavyweights, Moses Itauma, faces the toughest test of his career so far against the very dangerous Filip Hrgovic. And then boxing's biggest star is back. Canelo Alvarez is set to face WBC super middleweight world champ Christian Mbili on September 12th. You can catch all of those blockbusters on DAZN Ultimate.
The first rule of DAZN Ultimate. The first rule. You do not pay-per-view. You do not. You do not pay-per-view.
Do not pay-per-view.
The Ultimate Fight Night is here.
Second rule, DAZN Ultimate is. Second rule,
You don't pay-per-view.
Because Ultimate gives you a minimum of 12 pay-per-view fights a year.
At no extra cost.
You do not pay-per-view. Join us ringside and welcome to DAZN Ultimate.
Well, in tonight's main event, Xander Zayas puts his belt on the line. Xander Zayas promoted by Top Rank, and the Godfather is in the house. Bob Arum is with Chris Mannix.
Thank you, Kate. Yes, I am here with Bob Arum, the Hall of Famer, the legend, back in New York City, back sitting ringside. And Bob, you've done fights all over the world, but is there something special about doing a big fight in New York?
No question about it. The biggest fight of the time that I did was in New York when Ali came back and fought Oscar Bonavena, December of 1970. So, you know, I'm a New Yorker, and even though I moved away a number of years ago, once you're a New Yorker, you're always a New Yorker. And of course, when I open my mouth and talk, everybody knows where I come from.
You're sending out two of your best young fighters tonight on this card, Emiliano Vargas and Xander Zayas. Let's start with Emiliano, the co-main event of this fight tonight. The son of Fernando Vargas, one of the best young prospects in all of boxing, 17-0 to start his young career. What is it that you like about Emiliano?
Well, he's a great fighter. He has the bloodlines, he is going to be an enormous attraction because he's very, very good fighter. He's very much fun to watch, bilingual, and I'm really high on Vargas. I think he's going to be a major, major star.
You know, Xander Zayas has had a tremendous year, added 2 titles to his resume in the last 2 fights, and now he's here taking on Jaron Boots Ennis. A lot of people have said this is too much too soon for Xander Zayas. Do you feel that way?
Doesn't matter how I feel. Doesn't matter what they say. The kid feels that he's ready for a fight like this, and sometimes you've got to go with the athlete, the way the athlete feels. So again, all the naysayers about the fight, and it's a very, very difficult fight with Ennis, but the kid is absolutely confident that he's going to win this fight and win it fairly easily.
What does he have to do to win this fight?
Fight the fights that he's been fighting. Distance, box the ears off Ennis, and win going away. I mean, you laugh because it's a tough assignment. We know how good Ennis is. But anyway, the kid and the people around the kid are absolutely convinced that he can do it. And this is boxing. And if a kid wants to take a chance like this, you have to support him.
Just celebrate that Knicks victory last week?
It was a whole crazy month I was back in LA, and I watched every single game. And it was, you know, this is LA, and everybody was talking about the Knicks from the first playoff with Atlanta, and then Philadelphia and Cleveland, and then people felt that San Antonio were going to blow them away, but I really felt different. I mean, this is a team. Basketball is still a team sport. It's not a one-on-one sport, and there is no question that the best team in basketball were the Knicks.
Appreciate it, Bob. Looking forward to seeing you out here the rest of the night. Kate, we'll go back up to you.
¿Qué vamos a hacer? La pelea que costó no va. Y después, ¿para cuándo?
Como para diciembre, yo creo que es la próxima que vamos a tener nosotros.
A la afuera.
Whatever top rank wanted for Xander Zayas, this is the fight that Xander Zayas.
Eso fue un revolú porque aparentemente Juanita le había dicho a...
Absolutely, and that's what I'm so impressed with from Zayas. He chose this smoke. He didn't choose a one-dimensional knockout artist. He chose somebody that does everything well and possibly does everything well more than him. Jaron Boots Ennis is a future pound-for-pound star. Zayas has given him the respect and know that, but he also chose him as an opponent. That was an old-school decision from a fighter with an old-school mentality. So you got to respect him for that, for wanting to smoke.
Let me borrow your mic for a second, because mine isn't working, so we're going to share for a second. But you don't mind, you're my husband, we like to share. Let's talk about another big fight that we got coming up tonight at 175, the light heavyweight division. We've got Ben Whittaker coming over from the UK to fight Richard Rivera, a US veteran. You can see Ben Whittaker is already in the building. This is such a big occasion for him. There's been kind of a lot of fanfare about him in the UK. He fights with flair, he's flashy, and that has made quite a bit of noise over there. How different is it going to be for him coming over here to the US and fighting in New York?
Ben Whittaker has been waiting to come here to the Big Apple. Well, I want to say America, but he's actually here in the Big Apple with his debut. He's so excited. He can't wait to perform for the fans tonight. And this is just not something that happened by accident or coincidence. He's always said, I want to come to America. I can't wait to come to America to fight. He's going to give these fans in here something to remember. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the man that he's facing in the ring tonight, Richard Popeye Rivera, I should call him, is a bit of a character as well. Patricia Duong went over and met with him as well before the fight. She had a gift for him. Here you go.
Fuel tonight, so I brought you some spinach.
I love this. Thank you for that.
Can we get a prediction on how you think you're going to end it tonight?
It's going to be my knockout, 6th round.
Well, I hope it helps you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Toot, toot.
Can of spinach. It was the Popeye joke, but anyway, you get it now. What do you think that Richard Rivera will do to test Ben Whittaker in this fight tonight?
Well, pound for pound, he does, in my opinion, he does nothing better than Ben Whittaker. Ben Whittaker is fast. He's incredible reflexes. punching power, punch from different directions, but he may catch, and we all know that Ben Whitaker likes to play around. He's a showman. So there's times that he could be caught in those moments. We're going to see if Rivera can do that, but I seriously doubt it.
With Ben Whitaker, there was the fight that he had, the first fight of the 2 fights against Liam Cameron, which didn't go his way. And then he came back and rectified that, and he'd moved to being with Andy Lee. Have you seen a difference in his approach to fighting since he's trained with Andy Lee?
I've seen a difference in the mentality. It's been less playing and more business, and that's the Andy Lee way, that's the Kronk way. But I think people are really going to see the effect that Andy Lee have had on him thus far when he gets in with better and better opposition. He may go in here and get rid of this guy in 2 or 3 rounds, and that would be great, but I think people will really get to see the great job that Andy is doing when he gets in with guys that can actually test him and make him uncomfortable.
All right, well, we are just about ready for our next fight of the night. So here is David Diamante with the next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, USA, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special super flyweight attraction. Set to make his ring walk from Madrid, Spain. Please welcome Alberto Motos.
Here comes Alberto Motos, the nickname Mopla. Do you know a translation on that, Sergio?
I do not. Never heard of that word. That's a Spanish. From Spain Spanish, not Mexican Spanish.
Different than Mexican Spanish?
Way different.
What's the biggest difference?
Well, I don't know what Mopla means.
And those are the wise comments from Sergio Moore. All right, Alberto Motos, 6-2, no knockouts, 27 years old. After taking all of 2024 off, returned with 2 wins last year before losing to Marquez. That's Alberto Marquez, a 10-round split decision back in January. But he's had over a month to prepare for this fight, and it's going to be a tough one against Lopez.
Well, look, he's not a power puncher. He likes to make it a little bit rough in there. He's not a power puncher either. Takes a good shot. Motos is the type of guy that will test the prospect. 5-0 prospect like Juanma. We're going to see if that power is real, 1, and 2, if Motos could actually make it difficult, breaking that distance and roughing him up on the inside.
And now entering the arena, please welcome, fighting out of Caguas, Puerto Rico, el invicto, Juanmita Lopez.
And yes, this is the son of the former 2-division world champion Juan Manuel Lopez, who won the WBO Super Bantamweight and WBO Featherweight titles en route to a 36-6-1 career record. Sergio, the obvious question is, can the son be as good as the father?
Well, I like what I see so far. Offensively, he can. He's a southpaw. He's a puncher just like his father. Really polished. I mean, I like a lot of what I see by Juanma Lopez here. And big shoes to fill, because I was really a big fan of his father, especially with that right hook, but he was chinny. So we're going to see if Junior here can actually take a bigger shot and take a bigger punches from champions.
Yeah, former Puerto Rican Olympian, young guy turning pro at an early age, and has, as Sergio said, shown a lot of potential, 5-0 in his young career. I haven't seen as much of that pop, Sergio. I still think I need to see more power from Juanma to make me believe that he's going to be a knockout puncher like his father is. But the skill set is certainly there, and I think Top Rank really believes that this kid can be a star from Puerto Rico.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, USA, live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Top Rank Incorporated. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside: Tom Carasone, Tim Cheatham, and Mark Constantino. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring, referee Ricky Gonzalez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting into the red corner, he wears white with gold trim. He scaled 113 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 6 victories against 2 defeats. He fights out of Madrid, Spain. Please welcome Alberto Motos. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the black with gold trim, official weight 114 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign as a professional with a record of 5 victories, no defeats, 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Peleando desde Caguas, Puerto Rico, presentando el invicto Juanmita Lopez.
Aquí arriba está bien, y aquí arriba está bien.
Juanma Lopez, used to being under the spotlight. First with his father, and he turned pro at Madison Square Garden in February of last year. Got a KO in the first round over Brian Santiago at the age of 19. A lot of Puerto Rican fans here already to see what he can do against Alberto Motos, fighting out of Madrid, Spain. Scheduled for 6 rounds live from Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York.
Juanmita Lopez, just like his father, a southpaw, come forward, volume puncher. Those similar combinations. His father had more pop, more power, but I think slight more speed is in Juanmita, especially foot speed.
You think Chris Mannix has the best picture of us down there at the bottom of the screen?
Oh, those are the new pictures finally. There you go.
Chris wasn't on the docket apparently.
I missed the photo shoot.
Is that your high school yearbook picture?
I don't know. I missed it. Sergio looks like he's a superhero in that one.
It beats the other one. It looked like I had a stroke in the last one.
All right. Lopez 5-0, only 2 KOs though. Alberto Motos does not have a knockout in his 8 professional fights.
You can see Juanmita throwing away the hook. You know, he's throwing away shots. He's not really loading up on any type of power right now. He wants to get Motos to actually come forward and show him something. Nice counter puncher, strong counter puncher is Juanmita.
Left hand to the body.
Right now Lopez is throwing away shots just for Motos to come in. He's throwing away 2 to give him with a hard 3. There's a 3 right there.
When you think back to the style his father had, Sergio, any similarities?
No, and that's what I said before, because this Jude, I don't want to call him Junior, Juanmita here is more fleet-footed. You know, I think he has better radar, you know, slightly better defense, but the power was definitely on Senior. You know, both of them were hard. You know, they were southpaws, but only one of them punched really hard, and that was his father. Faster hands is Juanmita here, faster feet. A little bit more controlled as well.
Oh, there's the power as Motos goes down.
And then you see that he threw away that right hook to hide that left hand with Juanmita Lopez. He fell for it.
I don't think he's going to make it up. A defining moment in young Juanma Lopez's career as he gets a KO in round 1 here in Brooklyn.
Credit where it's due. Right before this fight started, Sergio looked over at me and said, 1 round. That's how long this has lasted. We have not seen that kind of blinding power this early in his career from Lopez, but that was a stinging power shot that put him down and put Motos out.
Look, I've seen the red flags with Motos, even though he hasn't been stopped in 8 fights. I loved what I saw with Juanmita Lopez. That's the reason I was so confident in a quick knockout here. Beautiful shot. Threw away that right hook from that southpaw stance right down the pipe with that left hand.
Juanma Lopez now 6-0 with 3 knockouts. And Motos, you could see it in his face, Sergio. He didn't know what hit him.
Because he didn't see the shot. This is what I'm talking about with Juanma. He was throwing away that right hook. He was hiding that left hand behind that right hook. And I love seeing that. That's veteran experience by a kid that only has a handful of fights in Juanmita Lopez. Look at how he's nice and patient, throw away that right hook just to hide that shot. The fact that Motos turned his head to try to roll with the shot, that actually worked against him as well, because he didn't see that shot coming right down the pipe. Laser-like left hand by Juanma Lopez. Perfect shot right on the tip of the chin. Knees go out. Yeah, punches like that you don't get up from, and he knew that Lopez knew that as well. Just staring over him, saying like, "Yup, I got you there."
Oh. Sergio, you scored a knockdown here in Brooklyn, New York against Danny Jacobs. What'd that feel like compared to what Juanma's going through right now?
Not as good as Juanma, because Danny Jacobs got up. He put me down in the same round, but I didn't have the power and I didn't have the pedigree and the bloodline of Juanmita Lopez. Excellent first round knockout by a man that I think has more power than his knockout ratio indicates.
All right, David Diamante's in the ring to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Gonzalez calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes and 5 seconds of round number 1. Declaring your winner by knockout. He's still undefeated, Juanmita Lopez.
So a good start to the night for Puerto Rico, as in the first fight of the night, or second fight of the night rather, Edwin Rodriguez put up a really good fight against Dennis Thompson, got the crowd excited, and then Juanma Lopez sealed the deal with a first round 1-punch KO. Can it continue all the way to the main event? Sergio, Xander Zayas, a 5-1 underdog against Boots Ennis.
Well, it's going to be a tall task, and the odds are against the young champion, the young unified champion that's attempting to do something great. I love seeing that, Todd. I mean, not many young champions willing to take that big leap forward against a potential pound-for-pound star in Boots Ennis. So I love the ambition.
All right, let's hear from the winner, 20 years old. It's Juanma Lopez.
Juanma, congratulations. You got out of the ring almost as fast as you got in it there a moment ago. How did you feel about the way you fought tonight?
It's great, it's a great feeling. Thanks to all my people from Puerto Rico that is here right now. I told Gary and Carl that don't take me out of New York City. This is my city, my 3 knockouts in New York City, so it's great. We're gonna be doing great things in the future.
Was that the fight that you were expecting?
Well, we're expecting a tough fight, you know, because Motos is a great fighter. But, you know, we do the work. We prepare really good in the gym with Alexander Caraballo, so we're ready for everything.
Landed what looked like a picture-perfect shot there. Was that the shot that you were trying to set up in that first round?
Yeah, we practice a lot that shot because we know what he's going to do, so, you know, it took perfectly.
We've only seen you pick up 2 knockouts in your first 5 fights, but do you feel like there's a lot more power in you?
Yeah, there's a lot more power. You know, I'm 20 years old only, so we're going to get measured with the future, so we're going to be one of the best 115 in the future.
Your father's got a great legacy as a 2-time, 2-division world champion. What kind of legacy are you trying to build?
I want to be not a legend, be another great fighter from my age.
A lot of Puerto Rican fans already in this building tonight. What kind of show do you think you gave them?
You know, I think they're very happy. You know, you're listening to him, and now Xander is gonna do the same thing.
What do you think Dad thought of that knockout?
It's crazy. So it's something great. I know that my Instagram right now is on fire.
Congratulations, Juanma.
Thank you to all my people. Puerto Rico, vamos pa' encima.
His Instagram's on fire right now. I'm sure it is. And Sergio, he said that's the way they planned it. It reminded me of the old A-Team. Remember A-Team, the show? Hannibal would say, I love it when a plan comes together.
Is that the one with the black band? The Mr. T?
And Mr. T, yes.
Yeah. No, I love the shout out that Juanmita gave his father, Juanma Lopez. I mean, like father, like son, 2 southpaws, 2 punchers. But Juanita here, I think he has just as high a ceiling as his dad had. Has the same power, quicker hands, quicker footwork. Love that smile. Love the way he gave the fans here a great show and good on the microphone as well.
All right, let's send it up to Kate and Malik. I'm sure Malik remembers the A-team, right?
Do you?
Believe so.
Okay, so Kate Scott, Malik Scott here with you. So listen, Juanma Lopez, they're having just his best night on his biggest night so far.
I thought he looked good, but what I was impressed with the most, how calm, cool, and collected he was. He threw a beautiful throwaway right hook that landed straight left hand down the middle. He did beautiful. Great job.
Did you, obviously, we saw very little of him tonight, but what could you talk about in terms of what he does well as a young fighter?
What I was impressed with the most was how calm he was, how poised he was. He didn't go out there reaching over his front knee. He set it up and behind his jab. He was using feints. And this is something that we was talking about early in the Williams fight, that he wasn't feinting. He was kind of rushing his work. He wasn't rushing his work tonight, and I know his father is proud of him because he should be proud of himself, first of all. He did a great job.
Yeah, he looked very happy indeed in the ring, as he should after that fight. We'll give you a short reel of highlights here. Didn't even last a full round, did it? Juanma Lopez coming in motivated and ready against Alberto Motos. Talk us through, Malik.
Yes, you can see he's jabbing, not doing too much extra with his feet, jabbing. And look, that was a throwaway right hook just to land the straight left hand, like Sergio said. He threw it. That first shot wasn't even mean to land. It was to distract him to land the shot that he really wanted to land, which was the straight left hand. His opponent, you got to give him credit. He tried to roll with the first shot, but by him rolling and it missed, he rolled directly back into the shot, which was the real trap, and that was the straight left hand. Incredible, very surgical finish here, and he set it up precisely behind his jab, behind his feints, behind his front knee. Wasn't in a rush, wasn't smother his work. He went out there and looked like a true professional. Throwaway right hook, straight left hand right down the pipe. Beautiful.
I know you enjoyed watching his father when he was active, two-division world champ at 122 and 126. It's hard to say, but what do you think is the ceiling for him? How far can he go?
I think he can go just as far thus far. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves because sometimes young fighters can do that to us. We see him, have great performances like that, especially him because he come from a family line of champion, basically. So we got to give him some more time, but he's on a great start. That was a great victory. And once again, one of my favorite scenes, as you know, Kate, is not what you do, it's how you do it. And how he performed right there was very impressive.
Yes, it was. Very special indeed. So let me tell you about something that we got coming up here briefly on DAZN, or soon on DAZN. Of course, you got tonight's event from Brooklyn, which is just one of a list of great fight nights this summer on DAZN. In the main event this evening, undefeated stars Xander Zayas and Jaron Boots Ennis meet in a blockbuster showdown for the WBO and WBA World Junior Middleweight titles. You guys at home still have time to buy the pay-per-view for that fight. Make sure you do. You can expect you can expect fireworks. That's what we think we'll have on July 4th, and that would be fitting, wouldn't it? As Abdullah Mason defends his WBO lightweight world title against late replacement Albert Bell. Diego Pacheco returns to Carson, California. That's on July 18th, taking on Emmanuel Alim as Pacheco continues his march towards a world title opportunity. And then on July 25th, former heavyweight king Anthony Joshua faces Christian Prenga with a potential mega fight against Tyson Fury on the horizon. We all want to see it. You can see all of that and so much more right here on the global home of boxing.
You're only undefeated until you're not. There can only be one king. Two perfect records, one unified title. Which prince will be crowned king? June 27th, watch only on DAZN.
Yes, welcome back to our position up here at the top of the Barclays Center. It's already pretty full, by the way. Puerto Rico turns out, don't they, for their fighters? Philly as well, which is not far down the road. Chris Mannix has joined us. I guess we want to, of course, build towards the main event tonight, Jaron Ennis against Xander Zayas, the fight that we're all super excited about. What's interesting to me is that you have this weird situation where Xander Zayas is the man with two belts, the WBO and the WBA at 154. Jaron Ennis comes in only his second fight at 154, and yet he's the favorite. How does that happen?
as simple as it sounds, Kate, you just have to be that damn good. And that's exactly what Jaron Boots Ennis is. Then you have to have the star quality. And I'm not just talking about outside the ring. I'm talking about inside the ring. He has a poisonous when he's operating. He's very surgical when he's operating. And he's one of the few fighters that's just not slick, that just don't do good counterpunching, but he's also a knockout artist at the same time. And when people expect you to be the future of boxing, they automatically put you in a position to fight for a title, and that's the position that he's in right now. Even when he fought Chukajar, somebody that was moving, he used good front foot pressure and chased him down all night. It's just what he do. He's a special fighter, and we all know why he's here.
Yeah, and I think that the odds are largely based on the eyeball test. I think when you look at these two fighters, you see flawless records, you see the belts around the waist of Xander Zayas, but when you look at him, you see a pretty good fighter. I think when people look at Boots Ennis, they see a great fighter, and that's why I think the odds are stacked against him. But that's exactly why Xander Zayas took this fight. I can't underscore enough how everybody in Xander Zayas' orbit told him not to take this fight. They said, go back to Puerto Rico, do a title test. You like Giovanni Santillan? We got him lined up for you there in Puerto Rico. Nice little title defense, and then you can move up to 160 pounds, fight for a middleweight title. Xander Zayas said no. He said, hell no. He said, I want to fight the best in the division, and if Boots Ennis is not fighting Virgil Ortiz, then I want to fight Boots Ennis. Make no mistake, this fight is only happening because Xander Zayas pushed forward it. He believes that he has the skill set to beat Boots Ennis, and I'm anxious to see if he really does.
Do you look at that, Chris, as a win-win for him, regardless of how the fight goes? The fact that he chased this smoke, the fact that he wanted to fight one of the most dangerous fighters in the world, that he's calling him out?
I would say this. I do think he has a chance here. I don't think it's a case where Boots is going to run him over, because Boots, as much as we all like him, he is also untested. His best win, Amantes Stanionis, maybe Roy Monvilla, throw guys like that into the mix. He has not been tested by a fighter the caliber of Xander Zayas. But to your point, this is really a no-lose type of situation for Xander Zayas. Unless he gets Wisma Limad, and I'm going to make that a verb right now, unless he gets Wisma Limad to get run over in the first round, he is going to be able to move forward, maybe move up in weight, challenge for belts at 160. But I'm telling you, I've been around this guy all week. I've done interviews with this guy over the last couple of months. He believes wholeheartedly that he can win. You start to talk to Javier Centeno, his trainer. I know trainers, they believe in their guys. But Javier, I think Javier believes more now than he did when this fight was announced 2 months ago.
Be careful now, everybody, because the clouds of weed smoke are kind of drawing in. They're heavy here in New York. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is kind of one of the narratives that you see online. Some of the chatter is that Boots Ennis takes too many punches. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a perspective thing. I think at times Boots get hit, we'll say 5 or 6, 7 times per fight. But it really should be looked at in the case of he takes a great punch, because if someone is always getting hit, I've seen other great fighters get hit. I've seen Floyd Mayweather equilibrium off when Shane Mosley cracked him. I've seen Crawford equilibrium off when Gamboa cracked him. I've never seen Boots, since he get hit this much, why I never seen his equilibrium off. Why he leave out a fight the same way he walked in, clean cut. It comes across like the nitpicking thing is a real issue when you're that great and you're that good, how Boots is.
I think it is beyond dispute that Boots does get hit. The numbers say that. He gets hit by 27% of his opponent's power punch. It's not a huge number, but that's a real number that he's getting hit by. Some of that is the Philadelphia in him. He likes to square up. He likes to fight against these guys, and he's willing to take one shot to give 2 shots back. I think the bigger question is, and the better question at this point is, does Xander Zayas have the power to make him pay for that? Because the last couple of opponents, last championship fights that Xander Zayas has fought in, against Jorge Garcia and against the Boss Barao, both of those guys showed no respect for the power of Xander Zayas. Now, they didn't have the skills to make Xander pay for that, but they were willing to walk through Xander's shots. Can he see an uptick of power? Is there a man strength development for Xander Zayas at 23 years old that's going to cause problems if he lands those shots on Boots Ennis?
Well, we had 3 real fights on the prelims. We got 4 fights to come for you on the pay-per-view portion of this card tonight. If you haven't yet bought the pay-per-view, run, go do that right now. In the meantime, we're going to send you backstage to Emily Austin.
I have been backstage all night, and fighters are starting to make their way in, preparing for tonight's pay-per-view.
You know who else has been making their way in? Celebrities. I have been spotting them left and right, and I will be catching up with them as tonight unfolds. So make sure you check out DAZN Boxing in the meantime so you don't miss amazing moments like this. Team DAZN gave Boots a custom USA World Cup jersey for his birthday, and this moment was posted on our Instagram and our social media. So check out at DAZN Boxing across all platforms, and also make sure to check out Fan Zone so you can vote in live polls such as this one, where as you can see, Boots is heavily favored. But as the night goes on, will momentum swing towards Zayas? We'll find out soon. Back to you.
Thank you so much. I think I just saw Boots Ennis pulling a U.S. men's national team jersey out of the bag, and with two people who know absolutely nothing about soccer, but the World Cup is in town, and it's exciting, and the U.S. are through to the next round. So well done to the U.S. men's national team. So we are building up, of course, to the pay-per-view portion. It's going to start with a fight between Jahi Tucker and why am I gone blank? Cedeño, am I right? Yes, thank you. And then, of course, the main event tonight is the one between Jaron Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas. In fact, I'm going to show you the full fight card, if we can, in just a second, just to run you through the 4 fights that we have remaining for you. So, Jahi Tucker against a big knockout artist in Cedeño, heavy hitter from the Dominican Republic. Ben Whittaker from the UK coming over here, hoping to make a statement against Richard Rivera from the US. And then you've got the co-main event featuring the son of a legend, Emiliano Vargas, hoping to shine in the spotlight against Bryce Mills. And then, of course, the fight that all the fans have turned out for, Xander Zayas, the unified WBA and WBO champion at 154 against Jaron Ennis, the former #1 at welterweight. Give me a final thought, just in terms of these 4 fights. I'm super interested to know which one you think is the best, because they're all really good.
Well, I think the opener of our pay-per-view is really interesting. It's probably the closest thing we've got to a 50-50 fight. Jahi Tucker, he's got a little crazy to him. He's got a little bit of the crazy gene going on with him. Like, he came into our fighter meetings this week saying he was the #1 middleweight in the world, said the only thing that he was missing was a belt. And then he was 2 hours late for the weigh-in and nearly missed weight coming into this fight. So there's something going on with Jahi Tucker. Whereas Yuri Cedeño, he is cool, calm, as collected. He is a Dominican fighter. He believes that he's elite as well. One thing I know, this fight is going to be a firefight. Neither one of these guys takes one step backward. It's going to come down, Malik, to which one of these guys has the better chin.
Absolutely, and I'm very, very big, as you know, Gate. Jahi Tucker is one of my favorite middleweight fighters to date, and that's because he's very particular about who he wants to fight. Everybody that he picks to fight are guys he's in 50-50 fights with, and there's times I've seen him get hit and come right back. He's a very old school kind of fighter too. He has great boxing skills, Chris, but he don't rely on his legs. He uses good defense to make you pay and punish you. I can't wait for this fight. And his opponent, Candina, is a knockout artist. Long limbs, puts pressure on, and most importantly, he believes he can knock out Tucker.
He's also, one thing known about Jahi Tucker, he's the king of the sparring, right? He goes everywhere and spars everybody. Shakur Stevenson, Richardson Hitchens, guys like Demetrius Andrade, he spars them all. Jaron Boots Ennis. He takes a little bit of something from all these guys. He's crazy, man. He's crazy out there. Like, and when it's not just outside of the ring, inside of the ring, he's a little bit nuts. He's going to come in there. He's going to throw a lot of punches. I was talking to Cedeño's team this morning. They believe they're going to catch him in one of these exchanges. They believe that they are the heavier-handed fighter, but watch out. This is the kind of fight where you don't blink. Something big might happen.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, this is it. This is the end of our free-to-air portion of Saturday Fight Night, which means that this now is your last chance to buy tonight's pay-per-view, or even better, why don't you sign up for the DAZN Ultimate subscription? Never pay for a pay-per-view again. With that, let me send you down ringside to Todd Grisham for the start of the main card.
Thank you, Kate. It did.
Saturday Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy.
What's he got saying? Turn around. Or join them.
One time, stray dog.
You've got the instinct. Now, get the training.
Rover, here. Come here.
Oh.
I'll be right back. Good, Rover. Come on, sit. Okay, let's go home. Rover, stop.
Rover, what are you doing? Rover, will you stop that? Rover, are you crazy? Oh, you stupid dog.
Sorry, where were we?
You crazy dog.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Introducing the casino you love to hate, Mr. Q.
Don't miss the biggest nights